All right, good evening, everybody. If you were watching the other one, which I don't think you were because we didn't have anybody viewing it, we apologize. We had some technical difficulties, and we are hoping that this one goes live here in just a moment, and we're hoping that it works. And I think it is. It looks like I have. Well, at least they started a commercial for coffee. Maybe then after that it'll start.
It's working now. Yep, it's working. We are good. Well, we're not good, but it's running.
All right, good deal. All right, so I'll go through the introductions again. As ever, the loquacious spider monkey that is Barry Reynolds.
Ooh.
The professional hanger-on, and I don't know, what other title do you have now?
That's pretty much it. That
That's
works.
it.
Hello, everyone.
Well, Keith, you are the only person I know that has parlayed hanger-onerism into like a actual real, like semi-real board game media title.
Yeah, somebody called me media. I'm like, what? I just hang around and talk to media. That's all I do.
There you go. And of course, we have Rhiannon.
Hello.
Okay. From Spooning Meeples, sorry.
Yes.
And our special guest star live from Finland. What time is it there in Finland right now, my friend?
You don't want to know.
All right, so Mika from and how do you say your game company name again? I apologize.
Q Games.
Q?
Q.
Q? Q? Q?
Yeah, that,
KYY Games.
exactly. That's where it usually goes.
And I'm guessing that's like a Finland word or something.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's actually an adder or viper. That's hence the logo.
That's actually really cool. All right.
Yeah, we thought
Well,
it was really easy to spell and pronounce, but
all right, that's fair. Well, we'll let you pimp out your Kickstarter here in just a little bit, but to begin with, well, it looks like we have Travis as well.
What up?
No one cares.
Travis, can you give yourself a finger mustache real quick? Thank you. And all right, awesome. So looks like okay, yeah, it is working.
Yes.
Oh, I just got told I'm taking part in a escape room at BGG Con. Huh.
Yeah, I heard I might be doing something like that too.
I've been told I'm going
I
to
decided to hang on to that. So.
Has anybody done an escape room?
Oh no.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
We were talking about doing one around here. There's one up in PA, not too far from here. We were talking about it. We just haven't done it yet. They're a little expensive.
Yeah, there's a local one here that I was kind of interested in doing, and then I looked into it and it was like $150 or something. You know,
For
like
how long?
well, I mean, it was just
like an hour.
yeah, and it's just like, and it's like up to 6 people. So I mean, it was like, okay, well then it'd be like, you know, $25 a pop, but still, it's kind of like I need a beer or something, you know.
That's in the morning, right? So if I go to Hard 8 and just eat the whole pot of beans, it'll make for a pleasant experience.
We'll break the door down.
How do you sell the? I don't care.
You can
hole in the
leave.
wall.
They just open the door. You sir, you can leave. Thank you.
You just beat the room. Good job.
Hey, Alad's here.
hey, how are you?
Live. You see, he turned his head. I was a little worried there that he had cut his hair off, but no, Alad still has the. You still have the ponytail, right? Yeah?
Yeah. Still have it.
All right, and Alad from Golden Egg Games, who also has a game in Kickstarter that we're gonna let him pimp and talk about in a little bit, but we're gonna make him sweat it out and hang out and talk with us as it is. So, has anybody been playing any games lately?
Yeah.
Travis, you have to play games for your job, so that's kind of boring. You were just bragging about all the different prototypes you're putting together.
Oh yeah.
Well, you want to actually talk about them, or are you just like gonna
Yeah, we've we've got quite a few things on our plate right now. Right now, I'm putting together this Mad Max game that I'm working on with this designer Jesse Wright. So he just did a bit. I've been too busy to really do much more than just comment on email, but Jesse was kind enough to put together a very massive overhaul to the game. And as you know, I love Mad Max more than anything in the world. So
even your daughter. So you'd knock over your daughter to get to a Mad Max movie?
not to the movie, but like I wouldn't be bummed if I woke up and I was living in a Mad Max world.
until like you became like not one of the cool people.
Until I had to do something, like I had to move fast. They just have me, like the Marauders would have me like strapped to the front of their nitro car.
Yeah, that was in the movie, Travis. That was Mad Max. So what you're saying is now you want to be Mad Max.
I picture him as Master Blaster.
Well,
I actually insulted someone today because he was really small and he was stupid, and then he was with
wait, time out. You insulted somebody today?
Yeah.
No, not you.
The guy said he just got really mad. He goes, Travis, can you just not be a monumental asshole for an hour? And I go, what time is it? And then I looked at my clock, and I was nice to him for exactly 1 hour and 3 minutes. And then the first thing I said to him was, you guys should go as a reverse Master Blaster for Halloween this year, because the tall guy was smart and the short guy was stupid. The guy that was telling me I was an asshole. So yeah, this Mad Max game, it looks pretty cool. You'll get to play it, Lance. Are you mini excites?
Sure.
We're bringing. There's a game.
I don't really want to know anything else.
Okay. See ya. I'm gonna log off.
Oh, dear.
Well, I mean, am I just gonna sit here and listen to you talk about like when you read The Wind in the Willows for the first time in 1943 or whatever the shit?
There are 2 people here to talk about Kickstarter, so that's only going to happen in like 10 minutes.
Go.
We're going to get some Kickstarter news, and then it's going to be a story.
Well, why don't I just mute myself and turn off my camera, and you guys can run the show then, apparently. All right. Well,
I apologize to you two, the new guys. Sorry.
What have I played?
No one cares.
I actually have a prototype for that. Hold on. I'm gonna bring this, Travis. I want you to play this with me. Hold on a second.
I've just been playing Six Nimpton Quicks just to fill up space while he's gone.
Sweet. I played Discoveries. I really like that a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
I mess around with it. I like it. It's light.
I don't like dice versions of games.
It doesn't. I think it's superior to the original game.
Well,
I think it plays smoother than the original game.
Lewis
it doesn't
and Clark
bog down into mud.
That
all
game,
you do in Lewis and Clark is wait, get all the way back to the end, collect all the crap you need, and then shoot forward. It works every time.
I like it. It does everything that I would want dice to do in a game.
Is this still a race game?
Yeah, it's still a race game, basically.
It doesn't feel as race-ish as.
It doesn't feel like Formula D race. It feels like.
Day.
It depends on which version you're buying, Rhiannon.
I don't play that one anyway. I like Thunder Alley, but I'll never be able to play Lamp.
Oh, don't talk about.
I also like Gospel.
Did somebody mention Thunder Alley?
No.
Did I mention I have huge news about Thunder Alley?
Oh, God damn it.
You faced somebody who's 8 years old and they beat you.
No.
Did you roll the danger die 30 times and nothing happened?
No. On Sunday, went to 15-0 in Thunder Alley after being cajoled into joining a 5-person group, and my earlier statement of having to play with the black cars was almost not acquiesced to until the person then gave them up And then Team Mythos got me yet another win, and I think I'm going to retire from Thunder Alley. 15 and
Don't want to lose to me.
You should retire from using those 10-cent words.
Anyway, so the point is that yes, perfect 15 and 0 on the Thunder Alley. So
Great story. Great story.
I am so good at the game. I might be better at that game than I am at Netrunner. Travis refuses to play me Netrunner. He's scared.
Oh yeah, refuse. Many refuse.
Anyway, yeah, I have a prototype for this Seventh Continent.
Oh.
That game that's coming out, or Kickstarter starts next week, and it's really different and interesting. It's
But the one with all this, got like a skull for the icon on the box.
Yeah, and the premise is that it's going to be basically it's truly going to be kind of an adventure game, and but I don't know, it's very out there. It's very very cool. I don't know how to even explain it, but so yeah, so I'm gonna bring that, Travis, and I think you and I are gonna try to play it.
Sweet, good talk.
I'm so cool, too cool for the room. Anyway,
so I'm gonna keep doing it.
But yeah, I played Thunder Alley recently, and yeah, was victorious. I beat the other players. I think the closest person was like 53 points behind me. They just had no clue what they were doing.
Who are you playing?
Inferior mortals.
Everybody's playing for the first time when they play against Lance.
There were only 2 new players. So
how many of them had severe head injuries?
Well, afterwards they wanted to, because they had been just so destroyed by my expertise that they wanted.
Oh, you're bragging. I'm going to be in my garage. I'll be back.
By garage, he means car hole. But anyway.
Are you proud making your daughter and her friends cry, Lance?
You know,
no, if you played her daughter, you would have actually lost.
Yeah, probably would have.
Anyway, yeah, just because you're not good at a game doesn't mean you have to make fun of me for being good at a game.
I'm good at Thunder Alley, but we'll never know who's better because you're retiring.
I've never played.
You've never played Thunder Alley?
I have not.
Oh, Keith.
Maybe a BBG on Keith.
Yeah,
Can't
maybe.
be pink, though, because I'm pink. If we play, I'm pink.
I'm not playing then. Screw it. If I can't be pink, I'm not playing.
Nah, well, too bad.
Huh. All right. Well, let's turn it over to we do have special guests on that feel you turn off your phone. That are probably a little, I guess, I don't know, like wondering what the heck's going on. See, the thing is, to both, well, Alad's been on before, I think, but he was very quiet the last time, too. But Alad, Mika, you just have to jump in and start talking at some point.
Sure. Well, you know, the time here is like, it's not the time to jump in and everything. So.
Yes, but this is like a morning radio show where if you don't actually start talking and talking louder than the other people, you're just never going to get anything said. So,
Yeah.
but be quiet a lot.
Alon, if you click on his picture, there's a little draw thing down on the right-hand side.
And now he can't talk, so you may tell us about your game.
Alad, could you please tell us about your game that has like a week left in Kickstarter?
Yeah, we have, I think, 8 days or 7 days left. We currently have Rome, Rise to Power. It's our new game. And also, recently we successfully funded it, so it will be an Essen release, which is crazy. About 2 weeks from now, so just wrap it up quickly so we can get the first print run there. So hopefully it will be arriving on time. I don't know if Everybody
You've had good luck with that, with your Kickstarters arriving on time, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's always arriving like on Thursday morning. It's like the most nerve-wracking experience I ever had because we're expecting like people coming in your booth, and then a pallet just came out with like 100 game, which is you're so happy that they're like looking at it. Why it's on the pallet and not in the bag? So it's really nerve-wracking experience. But hopefully we will get them by, I don't know, Tuesday. So we will have time this year. So we'll see.
So can you tell us anything about the game? Give us like a 30-second rundown.
Wow, 30 seconds?
Well, I don't know. Give me the 1-minute pitch. You probably had to pitch the game at some point to somebody.
Yeah, well, I am pitching slowly. But I will try my best to do like a 1 hour pitch. No. Okay, so the game is about, I call it a dice-driven game. It's about competing royal families in the ancient Rome. It's about the late Republic era, starting to go over to the Empire state. So you're competing with the other families to grasp control on the Roman Empire. What you're trying to do in this game, it runs really short. It's a 1 hour game tops for 4 players, up to 4 players. You will try to roll your dice, and those tries, with those dice, we call them power dice, you will try to influence 3 aspects of the Roman era. So you will try to influence basically in the military track, which your dice will represent your legion's power, and you will try to conquer provinces. Each time you conquer a province, it will gain you new card, and it will gain you, at the end of the game, it's some kind of area control. Also, those provinces will gain you a resource that you can supply the forum, and also it's a nice place for some senators to take a leave there. So it's also good to bribe the senators, which is the second try. We will try also to influence the Senate by just getting their attention. Those guys, it's just cards that will have abilities on there that can break the rules of the game. So when you get in like a good senator, it might enable you to put different kind of dice or reroll your dice, or maybe even if you're using the nasty cards, you can reroll other player dice, which is really not nice to do, but you can do it in this game. And
so so did you just basically say that you kind of like screw with other people kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. You can put it out, but even the base game, it's I try to capture the essence of Rome, and the essence of Rome, those guys were at each other throat every day. So, yeah, so you are competing, and it's and usually when you compete, it's very cutthroat. So I try to.
It's just that one of the things about like a lot of Euros is that like I mentioned this in my videos quite a bit, is that I call them like garden games, where basically everybody kind of builds their own garden, and then like you see who made the best garden after all is said and done. And so
I like other games. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, so I know, but I mean, I like games where I can go over and I can burn your garden to the ground if I want to. So I enjoy that aspect of games too. So. Well, good.
A comment.
Now, so it's like so you have a week left. If I want to back it, how much does it cost me?
$40.
$40.
$85.
American
but also
dollars.
like prime time. If you missed out on prime time.
Yeah.
I may have done that. I don't know.
Oh, thank you. Prime time was the other Kickstarter that we tried. It was so successful, so we tried to get another game in Essen. Basically, while we were in the middle of the project, I had the production ready, but I didn't have enough funds. But Prime Time did so good, so we overfunded it, so I pushed the other ones while the other Kickstarter was still running. So when this Kickstarter started, the other one just ended, which is kind of weird, but I tried to do, to be cool about it, because we're actually trying to fund 2 games at the same time. It looks weird, but it's what it is. So.
Well, hey man, it looks like you funded. You must have just funded fairly recently, huh?
Yeah.
As far as like, I'm just.
Like a month ago.
Well, good for you. Now the fun begins where you try to squeeze a little extra. It looks really good, man. I like the art. I like. Keith, are you pulling this up so I can share your picture?
I had it up for 5 minutes. You weren't paying attention.
Well, somebody needs to tell me these things. I was actually looking at the Kickstarter myself at another screen. So, all right. Well,
I did scroll through the art for the audience while he was talking.
One major part of the art is the third section that you can influence in Rome. It's the, I think you like it also. It's the arena part, when you're trying to do like the best show, and you're trying to draft your gladiators. You basically buy them in the black market. So you can buy gladiators, barbarians, or wild beasts, like weird ostriches and stuff like that. Then you need to compose in a set collection kind of thing, like a poker. It's like a reverse poker that you have creating your own 3-card hand. And basically, when on a scoring round, you will just pull them down, and then you will present your show, and the best show will get more points, which is another cool way to score points and it's a very valid way to win the game, to be like the best showmanship in the game. So if you look at all those I like the most, the gladiator stuff. But yeah, everybody can take his own part in the game. So.
Very cool. So, and like you're gonna hopefully, like you said, have those. If people want to, they can pick them up at Essen. So.
Yeah, we will have copies. We just I think in 2 hours ago, our manufacturer guaranteed that we'll have some spares, because we sold out every pre-order on Kickstarter and we didn't have anything, and so guys just asking me if they can reserve. So I will do something like nice that they can reserve without paying an extra, just reserve, because I honestly don't know how many copies we will actually get. So we'll see. And also we will have tons of prime time, that's for sure.
Very cool. Does anybody have any questions about the game they want to ask him?
I can just keep talking about more games.
All right. Well, I definitely. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just. And this is what, your 9th or 10th project on the.
So 9th project and 11 published games. Yeah. We published other games that are never was in Kickstarter, which is kind of okay.
Very cool. All right. So I mean, then now we're going. And where are you right now? But are you in Israel right now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah, sure I am. I'm in Israel. That'll work. So we're gonna head north of you and go to Finland, and we're gonna talk to Mika, and Mika, you are the representative for KYY Games.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yes, 2 games. Basically, yeah, we are moving from digital to analogical gaming. How would I say? We have a board game, our first physical board game, like I said, coming out, and it's called Cabalos. It looks a little bit like this. Let's see.
I'm sorry, I was looking at you. I was watching your video for your for your Kickstarter again. Here, there we go. I'm focusing on Keith. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
I love that splash page art. I mean, it's just like it's just like you have a little girl that looks like she's eating people. you have, and I'm guessing a mummy, who looks right out of Hellboy. I mean, that guy, the skull guy, looks like he's right out of Hellboy. And then
influences from there.
yeah, and then of course we have the ghost with the green eyes and the the Asian dragon in the background, and obviously some sort of strange fascist guy with a machine gun. So, and is that supposed to be Baba Yaga over there in the upper right?
Yeah, it definitely is.
So
right.
Yeah, the game looks. Hey, and Rhiannon Ox is a backer. Aw, look at that. So tell us about the game while my minion here. Oh wow, that is an awesome piece of art.
Yeah, the game actually. Well, long story. I was a mad Magic the Gathering player in '90s.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, a lot of sleepless nights in weird places, and
So you and Travis have something in common.
Poor guy.
I love this card. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
When I got to the digital gaming, my goal or my dream was to make a card game that was something like Magic the Gathering, but had a unique into it. So a lot of the stuff that we did was aiming for that, and basically we did the digital game in 2011. We released it, and then of course we have been moving towards to make the.
I'm gonna call a timeout here just for a quick second here. Is that a picture of a person kissing the butt of a goat?
Hell yeah, it is. Which is what I was getting ready to do.
Questionable kiss, I would say.
All right.
Kiss of shame on the posterior of a lamb or goat, and initiation to true witchhood.
So, Rhiannon, you've experienced this?
They won't let me kiss the butts of goats yet. I haven't quite reached that level, but I'm working on it. So thank you for bringing attention to that.
I don't know. I've seen you at cons, and you do a lot of kissing of butts.
Not of goats.
Anyway, go ahead, Mika. We're talking over you here. Go ahead, man.
It's okay. That happens a lot in here in office. Anyways, I tried to share this screen here. I'm not sure if. I hope everybody's seen it.
Here, I'll share your screen now. There, Mika.
Yeah. But about the game, it's basically about 1930s mythologies, fighting, of course, about world domination. But the uniqueness in the game is that you can actually build the game from pieces. And let's see. Well, I would like to show you this. I'm really new with this Hangout, but anyways, the first thing you do in the game is to build the board from different pieces, like this, and then you start placing your units and playing your spells in the board, and it's a little bit like chess and Magic the Gathering combined, and it gives a insane amount of strategy in the back, like depth in the game, but also it's pretty easy to start playing. So,
I mean, like I said, the artwork is what grabbed me the first time I saw it. It looks, pretty amazingly put together, and I dig the kind of pulp noir look that it seems like you're going for. I dig that. I play it, and it isn't like coming straight out and saying Cthulhu, but it's definitely seems like it's entrenched in that kind of mythos, in that kind of world, if you will. So that's that Robert E. Howard and Lovecraft feel anyway. So I don't know. Yeah. It looks awesome. I can't wait till my copy gets out of custom so I can play it.
Yeah, sorry about that, but hopefully you'll get it next week.
Well, it happens. No big deal. So you guys did try to you had it in Kickstarter once, then you canceled it, and then just timing, or what was the reason behind that?
Well, basically, it was our first Kickstarter, and we took our lessons from there and been improving the project a lot. So hopefully this time everybody gets a better view of what we are doing, and even we will have more viewers this time. So
Very cool.
We really want to be successful with this because the game is awesome and people should have it.
So it's really awesome, is what you're trying to say.
I'm really known for my modesty, but I guess that goes around here in this industry.
So are you one of the designers, the main designer? What?
I'm basically, I would say, the father of the game from the digital part, because there I had a huge impact on what we were doing. I was mostly like producer, so I wouldn't say I was the main designer, but.
So what came first, the digital implementation or the analog?
We did the digital first, and actually I think it has been a pretty good advantage for us because, for example, we could use all the data from the digital game to balance the game. So, like several million games played, and we have all the data, and we've adjusted it and fixed the. Of course, there has been a little bit too powerful cards in the beginning, but they're pretty good or well balanced.
That's cool. To be able to have that data available.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good advantage for.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would be like endless amount of hours playtesting the game.
Mhm.
Awesome. So it looks like you guys are off to a real good start. As far as with just beginning. So. Yeah. And then I noticed you call it an expandable card game. So I mean, obviously that because you can't truthfully say living card game because of the fact that that's like a thing that's owned. So, but how often will you be coming out with expansion decks for them?
Well, it's really up to like how well we do, because we already have a lot more cards in the digital version, and we would like to bring out expansions in a periodic way, so people can first get to know the game well, and then we have a lot of different, I would say more expert cards, so to say. So there's a lot of new stuff in the works.
Very cool. So I mean, like, let's say you fund. And then you how long before, like, I mean, you publish the game, you get it out there. How soon will you then have like the first expansion? Are you talking like 6 months from now? Or are you talking? I mean, like how quickly would that happen?
Yeah, first we will of course want to deliver the product and get it in, get it sold, otherwise or elsewhere or everywhere actually. But then after that, I would say 6 months would be pretty good estimate.
Cool, man. All right, well, yeah, I mean, so if is everybody watching the feed? Does anybody have any questions for in the audience? They have questions for the two guys and their games? I apologize. I don't have my feed up.
Nothing in the feed right now.
Yeah, nothing in the feed. But if you click on Keith's picture, it's stuck on his.
I don't want to.
Get off of me.
No. Here, I like Keith. Okay, there we go. We're off of Keith now.
Okay.
Does that feel better? All right. I should mention that. Hey, who just left?
I don't
No, I'm here and back. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. We have Jim. Jim, you joined us.
He's been here a while.
I know, but we haven't talked to him, so I just wanted to say hi to Jim Philly.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Jim.
It's weird to have somebody so polite on. He just sat there quietly, came in, waited his turn. Like, that's so bizarre.
I'm just lurking.
Oh well, okay.
Very cool. I do. The more I look, Chris Peach, I think, has a bro love for Travis.
Oh, there's no doubt he does.
Yeah, he's always like, "Oh, thank God Travis is here." Oh, and we haven't had a reappearance of the guy that has the crush on Rhiannon. I think he got embarrassed that I kept mentioning it. So that's too bad.
I give her one true chance at love, Lance, and you screwed it up for her.
I did. I screwed it up for her.
He missed the window. Like, yeah, so that's fine. That's fine.
He missed the window?
Yeah.
What was,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Alright. The window. More relationships have been doomed by that than anything. It's like, there was like that 3-minute moment where I would have wanted to go with you.
If you had just said something between the time of 12:14 and 12:17, it could have really been something, but he didn't, so I guess we'll never know.
I am always of the opinion that when a girl would give me that, oh yeah, there was that time when I really, really liked you, they're just lying.
I mean,
They're flat out lying. They're trying to make you, I don't know, feel better or make themselves not feel so bad about the fact that
mostly that
that they're never ever going to like you. But if you could,
such a good friend, Lance.
My response was always, I got plenty of friends. But anywho, before we go down that rabbit hole, so I'm going to GrandCon here in like I said, in about 7 hours I'll be on a plane, heading to GrandCon. I will be rooming with Travis. We're gonna be snuggle buddies.
Yeehaw.
I called the hotel. They said it's okay for us to push the beds together. So go ahead and take care of that.
Do they care if we push our asses together?
I also asked them to install the mirrors on the ceiling for us as well. So
I was worried about that.
Dude, Chris is getting jealous. Stop it.
Listen, I like Chris. And you know what, Chris?
Just like Chris.
Jason Brenner actually gave me some free stuff at the trade show. Well, it was funny. He was like, he walks up to me and he goes, "You like Predator?" And I go, "Yeah." He's like, "You have it yet?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Okay, cool. I don't want to have to carry the effing thing home." And I just go, "Thanks." And then he walked away. Then he brought it over to the booth and he was like, "Here you go, man." And he goes, "Oh, that's the new Heroes Wanted stuff?" And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Have you played the game?" He's like, "Yeah, I came to your booth and I bought all the first stuff from the first one." I go, "Oh, like here's the new stuff." It was like the weirdest implied trade that I've ever been in. And not that was a problem by any means. It was just a weird situation. Good story.
No, it was good. Brenner is an interesting fella.
He's funny. I like that there's certain people in this industry that I know are not, I'm not saying Brenner is one of these, but they're for example, Dan Yarrington. I kind of like Dan Yarrington because he's so empirically capitalistic that it's like
Dan Yarrington is like every word out of his mouth is that of a car salesman, but he is a successful person, so you can't begrudge him for it.
It's the hat that does it. It's the hat makes him the car salesman.
The hat and the bolo tie. I mean, the guy rocks the bolo tie and pulls it off, and that's not easily done. So,
and a commanding voice. You got to give Dan that. He's got a presence with his voice.
Dan Yarrington down at Dan Yarrington's used auto parts. We're selling board games now down here.
I'm just gonna on this one.
Well, I mean, what did Dan Yarrington call a little?
So I lived in New Hampshire.
Something? Or what?
I lived in New Hampshire, as you know, and there's certain little game stores that a certain somebody that we were just discussing owned, and they're all closing down because he can't manage anything. Also, he totally screwed over other local game stores because they missed the like redoing of their trademark or whatever with the state, with the business association, by like a minute. So he was there the next morning right when they opened up and scooped that up so that this game store couldn't do that. So I'm just not down with that kind of stuff. Like, you can be good at business without destroying somebody else on a personal level. Like, I'm not okay.
Donald Trump.
Well, I did say he wasn't didn't do jerk things, but
And is he
that's pretty
really
good at business.
I mean, let's just take a look at what everybody thinks about what he does. Like,
I'm just saying that I think he's funny. I'm not
he's a
saying
character.
I
I will give you that. I will give you that he's
funny. Like I believe the term I used was unapologetically vampirically capitalist.
Yes, that is the perfect way to describe that man.
That's a good. Yep.
But I guess I had preconceived notions about Brenner, but I kind of hung out with him a little bit at the con, and he's fine. I'm not the biggest fan of Upper Deck. I will remain. I will stick with my joke. I don't trust a company whose name means to use a toilet incorrectly.
Well, but see, it was a trading. It was a baseball card company first. I remember when I'm so old that I remember when the Upper Deck. I remember I have a complete first series of the Upper Deck baseball cards from like the very first year they ever made them. And the thing was, that was back when like Topps cards and Fleer cards, they were like
Donruss, damn it.
Donruss, yeah. I love Donruss cards, man. I loved all of those. But Donruss was my number one. That was my big thing. Basically because nobody else collected the Donruss cards, but I did.
Well, they had the best photos.
Well, they had the best photos, and I liked their stat sheet, their stat cube on the back was way better than Topps was just kind of like, well, we've always used this spreadsheet, so we're never gonna change, you know. But anyway, but I remember but you used to be able to pick up a pack of cards for like 30 cents or 35 cents or whatever, or like whatever. But like Upper Deck, they went total top of the line. The cards were just, they were the first ones to have that little tiny hologram in the corner, and they were like $1.15 a pack, and we were just like, oh my god, these are so expensive. But I was like, these are really cool. And I remember, my friends all made fun of me for buying those instead of like getting 3 packs of Donruss for and I get the Upper Deck instead. So.
Oh, this is funny.
Can I bash Upper Deck too? I love the company, by the way. I love the games.
Holy shit! What was that?
Aldi, what's wrong with your internet? Are you talking through a fan? What? Are you my father, Darth?
God, how much demon blood do you have to drink to get that?
It might be your microphone, Scott. If you have to.
I want.
There you go.
No, go back to the old voice. I wanted you to like say things. I wanted you to like tell me that you were an alien race coming to invade us or something.
Wait. Luke, I'm your father?
Oh, boo! Now it's gone. We had our moment.
Oh, man.
Hey, Travis, there's their new logo for you.
Are you having a better day today, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a weird week.
I feel so bad for the new people that come in on this because they're just like, okay, so I get my like 20 minutes to talk about my game. Oh, thank you. Okay, he gets his 20 minutes to talk about the game, and now we're talking about pooping on the top of toilets.
What's wrong with that?
Somebody's actually done one of their logo. Now it's a party. Upper Deckers.
Now it's a party.
Listen, sometimes you gotta use the toilet.
Maybe it's because I'm a lady, but I had no idea what that was until just this moment.
Wow.
And now you're proud you know, aren't you?
I am so proud.
You realize that I talk to you directly, and there are many unladylike things that come spewing out of your mouth.
Well, she didn't say that. She just said that.
Well, she's making herself out to be freaking.
No one who watches this or who's in here really would mistake me for such a thing, but I can still pretend. I'm allowed to have my fantasies and let me live my delusions. Thank you.
You go for it.
Mistake you for what?
A lady.
A lady. That's what they're saying, that I'm not ladylike.
She's a lady.
Anyway.
Is he still alive?
Tom Jones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course he is.
Very cool. Mr. Tom Jones.
What's new, pussycat?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Ah.
Board games, yes.
Oh, so
Yes, one day I was in Vegas and I was playing board games with Tom Jones.
Lance, have you played Discoveries yet?
Discoveries. Yes.
I like it.
You would.
You don't like it?
Well, no, it's fine. It's a good game.
I think it's. I like it more than the other one, the original.
Yeah, I didn't like the original at all.
The Lewis and Clarked.
Yeah. It was the bug down game. Well, very long game.
Yep.
Well, you're the one. You're the one that wants to make games that last only 45 minutes to an hour and just like make them all simple, like just the cheese pizza, right?
cheese pizza.
Are you talking to me?
I'm like, cheese pizza? Who?
Yum.
Who's got cheese pizza? No, like I was saying, we were talking about this the other day, and it's just like those games, they're all well and good, and they're cool, but it's one of those things where
The market's moving in that direction.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you're talking about like lighter games, lighter side?
Not. I mean, I don't think lighter. I think, and I know some people don't like Splendor, but I think Splendor
Simpler.
guards something in the industry
Simple minds.
where you can play a game that's 30 minutes long, but the experience can still feel
we
somewhat
can go
great.
on together.
And that's what Splendor accomplished for the like. Are you see?
It's
I'm
a super
talking,
filler.
singing over me, you son of a bitch.
Honestly, yeah, I think anything over the hour and a half mark, it's a super filler, right? Or under, and people just prefer that where they just chain them together.
Well, look at Forbidden Stars that just came out this year, and people were like, "Oh my God, 4 hours! 4 hours!" And like 2011, 2012 was not a big deal for a game like.
No, it's definitely.
But it was still longer than normal.
Yeah.
The first question out of some people's mouths is, "How long does it take?" Instead of, "Is it good?"
See, that's what girls usually said to me too. How long does it take? They should have been asking me, "Is it any good?"
When will this end?
Oh,
Lance, are you talking about when girls ask you about stories
whatever you're gonna say isn't gonna be funny.
regarding your uncle in downtown Florida?
Hey, stamina is a
Why
very
are there
underappreciated
why
quality.
are there two dudes that are the same Mika side by side right now?
He left and came back.
Cloned himself.
He's in another
Glad to
browser.
Oh my gosh! There's two of them.
The Finnish have started cloning them.
What?
Mouse application crash.
Oh, the Finns are crafty people. I'm telling you.
Can I tell my upper deck story, or is it too late?
Tell your upper deck story.
So I got
So you were pooping
Aliens.
in some guy's toilet, and I figured,
I
what?
got Aliens, and I'm so excited to play it. I spent at least 3 hours sleeving the damn thing, and sorting it, which it came not collated, which is
Yeah.
I don't know if you sorted Aliens, but it's a nightmare.
Yeah, 3 hours.
It's at least 3 hours.
And you
Who
sleeved
sleeves their cards?
I don't know. It was, when it gets played at BGG-Con, we need to sleeve stuff sometimes. Because it gets played like dozens of times, right? So I take it to game night, set it up, and to turn out, it's missing cards. So all that work, and then setting it up for game night took another 45 minutes while we're like pulling out all the cards to have it missing like critical cards that you cannot play the game without.
Oh my gosh!
I
I thought the people in Darfur had it bad, but I mean,
know, first world problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, gosh,
Wow, coming from the guy who was complaining about the price of escape rooms an hour ago.
I wasn't. Shut your mouth.
Speaking
I
of the
replaced it all, but it took like 4 weeks, like 6 weeks or something crazy long.
Really, that long?
Anyway, yeah. And then when, at BGG Con we had 2 copies. We had to like count the other one. It was missing stuff too.
Hey,
So-
Scott.
I gotta
Yes,
look
sir.
Guess what? Scott, guess what? Same problem. I was missing 150 plus cards. They gave me 3 of the decks in the card were in
3
the
of the
thing.
same or something.
Yeah, duplicates.
Yeah.
So and I had to sort all this shit, and I was like, I thought I was going crazy. And then I sent them an email. They don't reply for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. And then they're like, oh yeah, sorry, we had a production issue. We'll send you replacements when we get them. And I go, okay, well I just dropped $60 for this game. When is that going to be? And they go, it should be within the next 2 months. And then they then they just send you my replacements like 2 or 3 months later, and I'm like, with nothing. Like, you think they throw in, hey, here's a promo card, or here's a little note in the thing that's an apology for the issue that we've had.
I think when you're dealing with a bigger company, you're going to get that, right? And that's what you're getting.
Yeah, but you would think a company that did baseball cards could get a card game right, you know?
Yeah, but they're not used to putting everything in one box, so.
Well, no, it's the shuffling thing, right?
So for those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, I'm sure you saw my thing that I posted today about.
For long.
I woke up today to a customer complaint, and this is the first words out of "shame on you," all caps, 3 exclamation points.
That's how I'm going to start all text messages to you from now on.
This is ridiculous. Shame on you.
So let me get this straight. You've been in business for how long? You've been making board games for how long? And you're stunned that you finally ran into somebody that like has like some sort of weird sense of misappropriated deservedness. I mean, I just
out of curiosity for the other 35 people on the show, does this look like stunned a guy who's absently putting away sleeves in a box?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you not only did you tell the whole world about it on the old Facebook, but then now you are telling railing off here, whatever. That's fine.
So what did you do to this gentleman that he shamed you so much?
Well, because on our replacement part form, because for example, if somebody has a damaged board, which we paid the factory to manufacture this, and there's these things called acceptable defect tolerance. So if I send a damaged board to Europe, it's like $20x. So, for example, we had, on the newest expansion, we had probably like 10 boards, so I had to open undamaged games. So, lost the money on those games, send the new board, like another $20. So, it's like we're losing money on those. So, we have a thing that says, if you would like to help with shipping, this is the suggested thing. We don't say you have to, we just say if you want to. And I was actually told this by like 3 other publishers, and they use the same practice, so that's why I use it.
Name them.
I'm not going to name them, no.
Shame on you.
That mythical, other people do
Would
it.
you like me to type it in the chat, or are you just being nasty?
I'm just getting you ready for hanging out with me. This over the next 4 days.
Anyway, so the guy, like, rather than a normal human being saying like, I don't, hey, I don't feel, he just assumed that we were saying he had to pay for shipping, which we were not. So he just goes on this laundry list. He's like, your website is a piece of shit. He's like, you need to fly out to China and oversee this production process because clearly you don't know how to do this right. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just like, okay. And so I just reply to the guy. I'm like, all I need you to do is fill out the form. You don't have to pay anything for shipping. If you read the form, it says, and the guy is from England, so I'm assuming English is not his second language. And then he replies again with this. I would just say, I don't appreciate how abrasive you're being. I don't understand, because he said, he's like, you're lucky I don't sue you for fraud. I'm going to tell everyone I know what a piece of shit you are. And I'm just like, I didn't even have an opportunity to address the issue. It was just immediate attack. So I was like, in the future, I would just suggest that you give the publisher an opportunity to correct the problem, because I would gladly send you out this part free of charge. It's not a big deal. And then he comes back with another reply, with just, it's the reply that's just bullet points. There's no preface. It's just like, I'm going to shove these things down your throat. And I mean, I thought I wasn't like stunned or upset or anything. I thought it was amusing. Like, I mean, it was the guy was so angry that it was ridiculous. So, you know, I just felt like sharing it because I thought it was fun.
And what was wrong with the board?
He was missing a green pawn from his game. And I know what happened. He got a game that they ran out of the green pawns, and they packed up like 20 of them, and they didn't. And then the floor manager caught it and then stopped it, and then we rush ordered more pawns to China so they could finish the production. So this guy got one of the few that slipped through, which we've already addressed a lot of them. There's probably a few still out there in the world. But he said green hero token. So I thought he meant the green hero discs, because who calls a token a pawn a token? A pawn is, you know, a disc and a token are closer than a pawn.
It's like fringe and bangs. They're two different things because it's you know, the UK and America. So
You couldn't find a chunk of green plastic somewhere?
I would fringe you, Rhiannon, but I would never bang you. That's what you mean?
well, I was actually talking about the hairstyle when a lady cuts her hair here. See, that's
Keep using this
bang.
word lady. I don't think you know what it means.
When a female decides to have short hair here it's called bangs, but there it's called fringe.
Yes, I know. I was an Anglophile for years. Anyway, yeah. So
Also been an ass for one for many.
even afterward, I replied to the guy and I said, I will gladly, you know.
All right, we're done with this story, Travis.
Oh my God.
Rhiannon, can I convince you to go to GrandCon immediately? Is that a yes?
No, I can't go to GrandCon.
So I have a board game question for you guys.
No way. No,
Yeah,
no board
yeah.
game questions. This is stream of consciousness now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this will be a nice diversion. So, has anyone had any experience with a study in Emerald?
Yes.
Yes.
How is it?
My description of it is it's a beautiful catastrophe. I have a diatribe, so I mean I don't want to. I know that Lance has to talk every 3 minutes, or the world will end. So
God. You just.
Well, they're coming out with a second.
How is the pot and the kettle doing over there?
You know what? I was on here like. There was like the last 3 times I was on here, I actually like looked up at the clock, and there would be like 30 or 40 minutes would go by where I didn't say a word. I was just playing Netrunner online and just.
You know, we called those the happy times.
I can leave if you want.
Oh.
As long as you'll stop touching me and begging me to be on the show.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah, study in Emerald is my philosophy is. Martin Wallace is publicly embarrassed because of the Halifax hammer from a few acres of snow, so he just keeps making a few acres of snow. It's like, he made a few acres of snow, then he made a study in Emerald, then he made Mythotopia, and they're all that sort of deck building mechanic. It doesn't seem like a game that would come out from a man his age, not saying that he's like super old or anything, it just doesn't seem like a sophisticated designer like him would make a game that has 16 zombie meeples or whatever for 1 card. So it's pretty out there design wise, which I guess is probably why the 2nd edition that's streamlined is coming out.
Yeah, that's what got me curious about it. Is I saw that the 2nd edition is going to be released at Essen, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's
I don't.
streamlined.
I might be weird, but I mean, it just seems like with everything else that's happened with the fact that the Tree Frog is shutting down and everything else, and I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about my ass here, but I mean, I look at it as almost like a weird cash grab. I mean, it's just like, oh well, we know this game is out of print, and we've kind of artificially made some interest in it. So now let's just go ahead and release yet another version of it. And not only will we get people who want the other one that we've gone on record as saying we'll never reprint, but also maybe we can get other people that already have the first one to purchase this one as well. So.
I don't know.
Yeah, I never understood the never reprint.
Yeah.
I just bought a second edition Ave Caesar. It's fun, the German one.
Is there?
That's the rectangle box. Anyway, go ahead.
Ave Caesar. Why does that game? Why does it?
It's a racing game.
This year,
You have to go around the track, and then you have to you have the cards you have to play, and then you have to give money to Caesar when you go through. And if you don't give money to Caesar when you go through, by the time you get around to the second lap, it doesn't matter, and you're in last place. And you can totally like block people and screw them over because you can throw in like 2 lanes to get in there. It's amazing. Anyway,
I think they converted to Detroit Grand Prix. It's sort of similar, but not exactly the same.
You know the whole chariot racing game, the best game of that I ever played, and it's totally dated, and you'd have to like
Circus Maximus.
Circus Imperium, if you can track down a copy. It is based in this weird alternate universe where they don't have horses. They actually have these giant like half bear, half lion beasts that pull the chariots behind it. They're like hover chariots, and it's just you whip the beast to get them to go fast. But if you whip them too much, you can send them into a frenzy. In which case they just go super fast and don't know how to turn and just run over everything. And every single time we ever would play the game, it would always have an epic ending where, like, basically everybody else's chariot who was destroyed would just wait at the finish line while the last person whose chariot was still running would try to, like, get through everybody else who was just sitting there waiting for them with their spears and swords in hands and trying to kill their beast. It was, they had rules for everything, jumping from one chariot to the other, attacking the beasts, attacking the chariot, attacking the other people. It was just, we played that game constantly when I was like 18, 19 years old. Great game. Amazing game.
So, Scott, what do you think about this year being the year that every single Grail game was reprinted and my game collection is now worth $3?
I mean, I guess I don't mind it. I'm happy that people get to play them.
What Grail games are you talking about?
Hotel Life is still not reprinted. Hotel Life is
I mean, when I talk about Grail games, I mean I'm talking about games that are
some companies specifically started up to do Grail games. That's what Stronghold did.
Yeah.
He just went down Board Game Geek and looked at all the games out of print at the highest ratings and said, "Hey, can I reprint this?" I don't mind.
Just reached out to somebody who's getting an out of print game.
Yeah. I used to kind of be like, "Oh, it's not so special anymore," but now I'm like, I don't care.
Do you think these games will hold up? Being out of print 10 years or whatever.
Most of them don't.
Some of these are not. This year wasn't like. I mean, so just to give you some games. So like Ora et Labora.
That's sort of new though. That's a new.
Sure, but it's still a game that if you go try to buy it, it's over $100.
Yeah, sure.
It's like people value it. I'm not talking about games that are. I'm not talking about Queen's Gambit. I'm talking about games that are like Luna. Right. That's like people value at like $80, $90 when it's not worth that.
Let me ask this question. I apologize, and I don't want Scott. No. Shut your mouth.
All right.
No, Scott. No. Scott can't answer this because he owns everything in the world. And I want everybody to answer this. In your gaming collection, what is, in your opinion, like, and if you have the collector's edition of War of the Ring, you can't say that one either because that one's everybody that automatically. I mean, this is a game that that you have that is a normal game, not a stupendously overproduced that's worth the most in your collection, because it's out of print or what have you. So, Barry?
I think I have one.
You don't have a single out-of-print game in your collection?
I had Carson City, but they just did a Kickstarter. Yeah, I don't think I have one.
So, Carson, that one screwed you over is what you're trying to say?
It didn't screw me over, but yeah, they reprinted it.
All right.
I think my favorite out-of-print game isn't one that anybody even cares about, so it doesn't really matter, but I mean, it's out of print.
What is it?
Cog.
Sword or whatever it is?
What?
Cog by Andreas Stedding.
K-O-G-E?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
I remember you saying you liked that game, and I
got it, and I was super excited.
It was so hard for me to comprehend.
Oh, Navajo.
Margarita what?
I just found it
Navajo
so hard.
Wars.
Difficult.
Yes, thank you, Barry.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I can't.
Super mean.
I bought with Barry's example with Navajo Wars, like he talked about it was really cool. I got it for my father, and then now I wish I could take it back from him because you can't find copies anywhere. But,
Well, it's in their queue, the P500 queue. It's in there. It's just I don't think it funded yet, or
a lot. Do you have a game that's out of print that's worth a lot of money?
Yeah. I usually cut down my collection because of spatial elements that I need to save. So usually, I think I sold many copies of games that are out of print, but they are like not. They are worth more than I sold them. But I have no problem about them going out because I didn't like them. So I usually try to keep my collection to 100 games all time, and I always so this is my personal point of view about collection. I don't want to expand it. I just want to have it with games that I like to play, and I think that we did like in the last weeks, like we go back to Essen last year, the games that we liked, and we played a lot with War. But I don't think I have any game that is out of print right now, which is kind of weird.
I don't have anything that's worth anything after this year. Like, holy crap.
Wait your turn. Jim.
I don't really have many things that are expensive or worth anything. I think
Well, you have that nice rug behind you. What's that worth?
the Tree of Life, buddy. I think the old Steve Jackson Melee game is probably the oldest out of print game I've got. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know those little packet games he used to make?
Oh yeah. The one that I liked the most of those was Battlesuit. I just did the skirmish warfare based in the ogre world. So like, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, other than that, I've got an unopened copy of one of the first printings of Star Wars Monopoly. I won't open it because I hate Monopoly.
That's fair.
That's probably like $100, $200.
Yeah. All right, Keith.
I don't think that I have much that's out of print or anything. Probably my toughest to get game is the Giant Rhino Hero. That's kind of the game I have that everybody doesn't have. So that's a cool one to have.
I have 2 copies.
Shut up, we know. But I mean, that's a tough one to get, and it'll draw a crowd. So I think that one's a pretty cool one in my collection.
And the reason why they won't sell it in the United States is because it promotes kids climbing up on chairs and stuff to.
Because my kids don't do that crap on their own.
Yeah.
Well, but we are a
litigious
nation,
country. Yeah.
Who is that coming from? Is that from Haba or is that from the U.S. distributors? I mean, I don't.
It's from what's the name of the company, Rhiannon? It's on the front of the dang box. It's from a Japanese company. Haba's licensed it through them. And
yeah, but Haba's the one in the U.S. who says they won't do it.
Correct.
Nope.
Suguro Rokura.
Can't they just slap a sticker on it like we have everything else, buckets and everything else?
Well, you know what? Americans still like to sue, regardless of disclaimers that really don't need to be there. So, there you go.
Did you pick that up, Aldi?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, so I'll have it at BGCon.
Oh, so I don't have to haul mine down. Sweet.
I was shocked at how heavy it was.
Oh, I got my copy of Minerva from Fun Again today. Aldi. That
Can
weird
I say what I think the rarest game is in the BGG collection?
What is the rarest game?
I think it's Full Metal Planet.
I was just gonna say either that or I was thought maybe you're gonna bring up my Viking game.
I missed my chance to say Viking too.
Viking it did? Yeah. That's my grail.
It's either that or the Settlers of Catan 15th Anniversary Edition. That's going up in price, like $400 or $500.
And that's the one that like overproduced everything, right?
Yeah, everything's 3D modeled and like painted, and it's got Cities and Nights in there as well.
They'll redo that though. Mayfair has just got too much stupid money.
I wish they would have redone that instead of focusing on that Cones of Dunshire. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
All right,
I've literally
Mika.
flipped through my whole collection.
Mika, do you have a good collection of games? Do you have something that's out of print? Something cool? Do you have a copy of Viking 8 that you want to give me?
I usually bring all my games to the company because we used to play, or we play bi-weekly board games, but there's none that's out of print, I guess. But probably my collection of Magic cards is the one that has the most value.
What do you have any cards that are worth a ton of money?
Yeah, I used to buy a huge load of cards. I remember they cost like $4 at the day, and now they are like 100 each. So it's probably close to 20,000. The crap of cards that I have. I mean, the collection of cards.
Well, jeez, you don't need to go through Kickstarter to get your game done. Just sell all your Magic cards and publish your game.
No, they are gathering value.
Oh, okay. You're gonna put them in a shoebox, bury them in your backyard, and come and get them later.
I really had a hard time, like, getting rid of those back in the day, and I still don't want to get rid of those. I like to think that I get back to playing it someday.
I'm the same way, Mika. I've got boxes and boxes of Magic cards in my basement, and my wife keeps getting mad at me because I just moved them from one spot to the other.
Yeah, those are the ones that stay, and other stuff can be thrown out. But don't take them. I need those.
Yeah, hold on. I sold my Magic collection in 2004 for $2,500, and today it would be worth about $36,000. I had all the Power 9. I had 12 of each dual land. I had like 4 Library of Alexandria, 4 Mishra's Workshop, 4 Bazaar Baghdad's, all the cards that are the expensive ones now that were worth. Used to be able to get them for like $30. Used to be able to get Moxes for like $30, $40.
Yep.
And now they're worth just so much.
How much did you sell for?
$2,500. I was moving to Vault out to the East Coast, and I really needed money. And they said, they're like, it's worth probably about $4,000, but we'll give you $2,500.
Right.
I had a friend selling a Black Lotus back in the day, and he got $6 for it.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was a really good business move.
I feel bad about mine. I sold it for $5,000. I ran an auction manually on this pre-eBay. Sold for $5,000 and took it and bought a PC. Remember back then? They were $5,000.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, like if
I bought a Pentium 100. It's my first PC.
Ooh.
$5,000 in 1995. So I turned my cardboard into silicon.
Interesting. Mine is probably my in-shrink copy of the Axis and Allies, whatever, anniversary edition. It came
What's
out.
the story with that game?
Well, it came out. How long ago did it come out? It came out. Let's see, what year?
2008.
2008, and so then they sold it for $100. And that was back when nobody was like, and then it actually added the fact that you could play Italy, and so there was a third Axis player, and then it had like another type of ship, not like a middle ship between the destroyer and the battleship, and it had a giant board. And so the whole thing was, it was supposed to, like, put Axis and Allies back on the map, and I guess it kind of did. But then they kept on hinting that they were gonna redo it, and so, like, it was just one of those things where they probably printed off 10,000 copies, which is a lot of copies for that. But I mean, people balked at the $100 price tag for it. They didn't want to pay $100, because they were like, oh, why would I pay $100? And and then all of a sudden it was gone. It wasn't there anymore. So I mean, it was just it wasn't one of those things too where I mean it was everywhere, and then it was just gone.
Yeah, it looked like it took about a year to double in price, and now it's up to about $350 to $500.
Yeah, and every so once in a while, like you'll see somebody, is this getting reprinted? There was rumors that it was getting reprinted, and then that was when Hasbro decided to do the Axis and Allies East and Axis and Allies West, and so you could play the Eastern Front and you could play like the West, so you could play the Battle for the Pacific and the Battle of Germany, and then you could combine both the maps to have a truly giant game, and so they had that as an option, but it was just, I don't know, it was, and then it just, I don't know, I mean, I always played Axis and Allies as a kid, and for whatever reason, I never opened it up. I thought about opening it like probably, a dozen times, and then by the time, hello, who has a landline? That sounds like a landline phone.
Oh, he fooled you.
So yeah, that's, I mean, so then and then all of a sudden I heard it was out of print, and it was just kind of like, oh, all right, and then I was like, well, why would I open this now? I've got my own Axis and Allies, and for those rare moments that I want to play it, I can just, go that route instead, so.
How about you, Ree?
What now? Oh yeah, Rihanna, what's yours? Besides Cog or whatever it is.
Out of print games?
No, the one game that you have that's worth a ton of money.
I have no idea. I really don't. I have 600 games. I don't sit there and I'm like, well, this one's worth that much, and now how much do I like to play this game?
There's always one person who's too cool for the question. Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry, Jim. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just going to put a different spin on Lance's question, but I didn't know that Brianna hadn't answered it yet.
It's not the monetary value for me. It's the emotional, fulfilling.
You're the person that asked Santa for world peace instead of a doll, right? Because you just wanted to be that person.
I care deeply about people getting along, Lance, obviously. So, of course, world peace was my answer.
Okay, whatever.
No, but I really don't I don't look at my games like that. There was this website that's rate or tell you how much your game collection is worth based on what they're selling on the marketplace right now. And last time I did it, I was at $30-something thousand. But I wouldn't necessarily give you if I was done with the game, I would just give it to somebody because it's well, here you go, because I'm done with this and I got all I needed out of it. And if it was a friend, I'd be like, here, you may have this now.
Bullshit.
But anyway.
Yes. Anyway, indeed.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't give you good answers.
No. Okay, I'm not going to go the obvious route. Okay, I don't know. Now is as good a time as any to go to the Berry 10. So, Berry 10.
Here we go. All right.
Go ahead. Okay, for those of you who are not haven't watched this or never watched this and wonder what we're talking about here, the Berry 10. Barry is contractually obligated not to talk because otherwise none of us would get a word in edgewise if we didn't prevent him from talking during this. So and the contract also says that he is allowed 10 minutes where he asks all the questions, and I usually end up talking over it anyway. So go ahead.
Yeah, it's really the Barry 15 seconds, but anyway.
That's what your wife said.
Yes, she does. I'm Irish. Anyway, Micah, what is the gaming scene like in Finland? I know it's a little different than here in the U.S. So what's it like over there? And then I'll ask Lad the same question.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Statistically, here women are the minority. What's it like over there? I know most of Europe is 50-50, and is it more Euro games or Ameritrash being played over there? Or are you as obsessed with the gaming as the Americans are? Stuff like that.
Well, definitely we're obsessed about gaming. But I might have missed a question somehow. Sorry.
Okay.
I think what he wants to know is that, like, what's
the gaming culture?
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
culture? I mean, so like, do you have like gaming cafes? Do you have local game stores? I mean, is it board games here are gaining in popularity, but they're still a relatively small niche hobby. What is it in Finland?
It's definitely like that. It's a smallest group, but I think we are even more enthusiastic about it. But there's few specialized shops that sell the games, and they organize like playing sessions, or people go there to play. But also in some cafes and well, some other shops, people just go there and play. And they, of course, well, I guess the shops love it because people come there often and buy their stuff. But basically, personally, I'm quite enthusiastic about playing all kinds of games. But a few times a year, we of course organize special trips or special occasions, like with friends. And there, I have to say that one of the most played game is like Mac Last. I guess it goes a little bit off topic from the original question, but I had to say it.
No, that's fine. All right, Elad?
Yeah, well, it's more like in the US, but it's even more niche. We have a very small market, but the style is more like in the I don't know. I don't like the term, but it's more like American games. We like, I think the big hit here is and the Winter stuff and games like that, more over than the casual Euro games. We have some mixed players that like them, but I think we are more focused on what's going on the American market and the US in particular. So most of the games are, fantasy flight games are really big here, and they have, I don't know, they are like dominating collections here. And if you go to gatherings and stuff like that, you will see most of the games they will be theirs because of they have a good availability. Also, it's very important because we are so far away from any market. So any company that gave us a good amount of availability and you can purchase the game with the right price, then you will probably get it more often to the table than other games. So, but we have some Euro movement here and there. So we'll see. But basically, we're more like your market. Euro is a niche inside another niche, board games. So.
Okay. Now I know shipping in Europe is like extremely expensive. They have their own taxes and all that. Is it the same in Israel?
It's even worse because shipping is atrocious, and then you have taxes, and we have taxes about everything. So we have like a VAT tax, and then a sales tax, and then maybe a custom check, and then you talked about discoveries. I ordered it like, I don't know, like 1 month ago, and I don't see it coming anywhere in the near future. So everything is suspended and also very expensive. So you need to be A, very patient, B, you know that you will pay basically almost twice about how much you will pay, even in Europe, and so this is why it's very hard for somebody to develop a good collection. It's very expensive. So yeah, I'm trying to deal with that, but it's still very tough.
So, what are some of the challenges running a game company out of Israel?
Basically, we don't have the local market, so for me at least, for my games, I cannot actually sell the games because we have like 4 hobby shops. I don't know how you call them, because they sell mainly like Magic and weird customs and stuff like that. They don't sell. Board game is like the backstage shelves there. So I don't have a really local market. So all of our games are intended to go out to the US and for Europe. So it's pretty tough because most of foreign publishers, they do have their local market that they can rely on, and we do not. So this is one big struggle, and the other one is to get. We are using a lot of playtesters here in Israel, and they are growing in numbers, but we need to. We are doing partnership with, and we are inviting beta players from other countries all over the world, so we can have different opinion about how the game plays and get different reports and different report styles. Because, as I told you, most of the players here in Israel almost have the same characteristics. You have the weird ones, but most of them play American games. So when you're trying to get a feel about a Euro game, you need to go further to reach out and seek for Euro players outside of our community. So this is the second thing. And the third thing is it just time issues. We are more like in the it's easier to adapt the time zones in Europe, but basically when like now it's like 7 a.m. here, so I'm going to get my kids in an hour to the kindergarten. So you need to be flexible or sleep less. I don't know, stuff like that.
How about you, Micah? What are some of the challenges running something out of Finland, a game company out of Finland?
You got me again, Barry.
There's no challenges. It's easy. Okay. Ray, how's the penis cup coming?
Oh, jeez. Hold it up again. Hold it up again, there, young lady. Can we show this off?
Well, I'm not. Okay, so.
It looks like it's ribbed for her pleasure.
For her pleasure. Yeah, so there are, the bits down here, and then I'm doing the, on there, and yeah, so I'm getting there. I don't want to make it, too intimidating for people or my friend, so we'll see. Anybody else making a penis cup? No? Okay. Next question, Barry.
Well, I mean, if you had talked to me 3 hours ago, I mean, then.
Well, I like the way she said she didn't want to upset people or her friends.
This is a much more subdued version of the cup. What she wanted was, yeah. I mean, I'm open-minded, but I was like, I don't know about that one.
What she wants you to do, hollow out a,
Let's just say that, the way that you hold a cup, you could make it so that something looks like, And,
yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Just go buy the biggest you can find and just bore out the center and pour the in it.
Yeah.
All right, Lance, how much is BBG worth?
Oh, geez, I worth of web. Hold on, I got
$74 million.
$74 million?
Yeah, I already looked it up.
$74 million.
What's that, Aldi?
So I woke up Saturday morning with an email. It said, hey, if I win the auction on GoDaddy, do I get the whole website or just the domain name? And I'm like, huh? So I go on GoDaddy.com, look up Board Game Geek, and it's for auction. Huh, that's interesting. I don't remember putting it up for auction. So I call them, I wasted 2 hours on hold, and it got escalated up the chain. And apparently you can list a domain for sale on GoDaddy that you don't own. Because I thought someone hacked my account and stole the domain.
So
I had an exciting Saturday morning.
How does that work? I mean, there's
you can list, they have if you go to auctions.godaddy.com, you can look at domain names for sale as an auction.
So how does somebody put up an auction they don't own?
Yeah, that's forget it.
I asked the same question. I was kind of confused, actually. Apparently, you can do that, because I don't know. That's to me that's ludicrous. But
Well, what happens
you
if
can do
they
that.
win the auction and win BBG Con or BBG?
Exactly. Like
What happens?
I didn't want to find out if someone won, so I had to call on the weekend. Of course, there's nobody really there with any power on the weekends, so I called Monday morning. I'm like on hold again, go through the chain, and I said, I need this taken down because I'm getting emails from people that think this is serious. And anyway, there you go. It was at $250. Yeah.
So are you all
It was an
taken care of
exciting,
now?
it was an exciting weekend. This week has been weird, man.
All fixed?
Pardon?
Are you all fixed?
Yeah, sort of. I'm gonna have to take a server out and shoot it. It's totally
always
screwed
fun.
up.
Tannerite, man, Tannerite.
Yep. Oh yeah, I should video it.
Oh hell yeah!
How many servers does it take to run BBG Con? Scott.
I think we have like 15.
Really?
15 pieces of hardware that run a bunch of virtual stuff. If I counted all the servers, probably in the 30 or 50. Like what we call a server, it's all virtual, right? So you take a machine that has a bunch of memory and a bunch of hard drive space, and you can partition off little pieces of, here's a server. You can put like 10 servers on one piece of hardware. So we have like 15 pieces of hardware.
So you're leaving on Friday for Essen.
I am. I'm leaving Friday. I'm gonna do some traveling beforehand. I'm going out to Prague.
But you're gonna mule my mule game back, right?
I don't know. I have to see about that. Your list is getting long. You
Well,
need to give me a prioritized list.
I did. I just sent one. I sent
Okay.
you a prioritized.
Number one to N, whatever.
1 to N.
Well, I don't know how many is it up to now? Like
11 million.
Yeah, like
I would never take advantage of you like that, Aldi.
Oh, whatever. This magnanimous crap has got to end real soon.
I don't know. I've not made anybody mule anything from me. I've just been muling.
Are you guys going? Anybody else going to Essen here?
No.
So, I know Elon probably, right?
I'm going to
Elon,
Disney.
Elon?
Yeah, we are going to Essen as well.
I will be going to the House of Mouse.
You will recognize us from the snow machine that we will have in the booth.
Cool.
So the Arctic Union booth in Hall 2, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So where you got moved? We got moved to Hall 7. Not sure if that's a good or bad
You
thing.
moved to Hall 7?
Yeah, we used to be in Hall 1.
Yeah, I know. You will just right next
Right
door.
near you guys. Yeah, not my choice, actually. So I don't know what to do. I assume I was moved for a reason.
Too crowded. Yeah, crowded, so too loud in Hall 1. You cannot hear yourself, basically.
So who all was coming? I found this basically
cool.
a small advertisement for our booth. There will be several Finnish companies there, and we have a lot of games. But would be awesome to meet there.
Yeah, definitely.
You have
Are those
booth,
all
don't
new
you?
games?
There's a bunch of new games coming. Like I think we have, or they have set up reviews with Board Game Geek already.
Did you set up a schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And we started at Hall 7 on the first, 5 years ago. So it was it was closed.
Used to be, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get upset about it until I see what the situation is.
Oh, okay.
But when I think I'm in a certain space and I make plans, yeah.
Is it the same square footage or whatever they do over there with the their measurement? Is the booth the same size?
Yeah, it's the same size booth.
Just different location.
Yeah, they. Well, I've been in the same place for 3 years, and then this year I got moved.
Right.
All
Auf
right, well,
Wiedersehen,
I'm gonna say
everyone.
good night, everybody.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think people are dropping out, so I still have to pack for my trip to GrandCon.
To everyone who's traveling, safe travels. I wish
Yeah.
you a great time while you're away and a safe travel home.
Jim, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll have to. I don't know. I want to give Jim like 10 minutes of question time too next time he's on.
All right, you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you when you get back. Ciao.
Good night, everybody.
Take care, boys. Travis, have you packed up yet for the trip? Travis?
Why did somebody mute me whenever
That was me.
You were making noise.
You were cleaning, and every time you moved, it was clink, 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 and it went to your screen. That was annoying.
Sorry, I
Like you're
didn't.
talking.
I wasn't talking, so maybe that's the problem.
Well, you know what? Let's give Travis 10 minutes.
Give him the floor.
I don't want it.
Come on.
Then nobody's gonna say anything.
Oh, you've already ruined my emotion.
Here, go. Give me the finger mustache again and glare at me.
I like how I started the conversation about the games that were worth money, and then I was not asked what games those were. I was asked, and then you interrupted me, and then just went on to everyone else.
Somebody's feelings are hurt.
That's
so
all right.
I will,
Someone's gonna wake up with man feces on their chest one morning. That's all I gotta say.
you like been there, done that. So let's just.
It's gonna be a big old greasy dump on you, my friend.
Sweet. Travis, you have the floor. I have to go find my suitcase.
Gilad, you're in Israel.
Yeah.
My wife's father is Israeli.
Battles?
What's that?
I didn't get your.
I said my wife, my father-in-law is Israeli. My wife is half Israeli.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. So,
Nice. Which means that technically now I'm Israeli, right? Because I married her. So I'll be 1/10 Israeli since I married her.
I don't know, but if you have children, they might be. It's not like you're married into it, but it's actually my wife is an American, which is kind of weird. So we are switching places.
Oh, there you go. Are you where do you live in Israel?
I'm in the northern region in Haifa. It's a big city down the coast.
My wife's family is from Tel Aviv.
Yeah, most of the people lives there. So
Yeah.
big city.
So anyway, I have 10 minutes to talk. I'm just really tired. The whole time I've been here, I've just been making this one prototype, and I literally unsleeved like 500 cards from 10 old prototypes. It was grueling. Rhiannon, you got to get over here and help with this stuff.
No, not happening.
So this year, here's the games that were. So Coliseum, that was over $100. Now worth
Was
nothing.
it?
Yes.
Wow,
Coliseum.
well, that's worth nothing. I have that
Tasty
one.
Minstrel Games, Luna, over $100. Tasty Minstrel Games, Fury of Dracula, like at points it was 200-ish bucks, now worth nothing. Mission Red Planet, over $100, now worth nothing. What else?
Well, hold on a second. It's worth like $50.
No, my version now is shit because the new version has updated rules and components, and so now my version is the inferior version that I traded through the nose for.
But there are going to be people who still want that version because it's
right.
cool.
No, they're going to want the Fantasy Flight version that comes with like a plastic monument inside of it.
No. I will say the Mission Red Planet components were nice, though. I saw those at Gen Con. I was like, ooh, these are pretty fancy.
What else? There's more. Or at Labora. Oh, and my favorite was at Geekway. I went up to Zev and I said, "Are you guys ever reprinting Aura et Labora?" Because someone offered me $90 for it. He said no. The next day, Z-Man posted they were reprinting it. And then
It doesn't run anything. Don't be.
Probably didn't know.
No, he said he didn't know, but the opportunity to sell it was gone after that. And I only ever got that game because Lance, are you there?
Nope.
Nope.
our mutual friend Drakenstrike said he really wanted it, so someone wanted something from me, so I traded it to give it to him, and then he said one of the player boards had a slightly bent corner, and he refused to take it because it was, quote, damaged. I've been trying to get rid of this damn thing for the last year, and now the moment has passed. I have a bunch of games that are like I have A Study in Emerald, and I have, oh god. I have a lot
You
of
could
stuff.
donate them to a museum, and they can put them in glass, and you can be like, "This was the original Tigris and Euphrates. Look at that."
I'm not saying. Oh yeah, I bought Tigris and Euphrates. It was on a sales table at a shop. It was the deluxe Uber fare or whatever version, and I bought it for 20. I would Uber Play one or whatever. I bought it for 20 bucks, and then 2 weeks later, FFG announced they were reprinting it. So I've just been screwed.
But see, this idea of collecting games like that because they're that, like, it boggles my mind.
Yeah, I'm the same boat with you, Rick.
No, I don't. I'm not just buying the game because it's. I'm not just buying the game because it's out of print. I get the games because I actually want the games, but like the fact that they're like.
What difference does it make?
Well, I'm telling you what difference it makes.
Because all of a sudden it's not worth anything, so you like your game less? I just don't get it.
Because whenever I'm trading and buying these games and I'm paying a premium to have them, and then if I don't like the game and I want to get rid of it, I now lose on that equity, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah, you should try to sell them quickly, because if I don't like a game, it's not from a standpoint of money. I just don't want to be in my collection, and I think that, especially here in Israel, I wanted to somebody else will play the game, because games hard to find. So I'm just selling them exactly the same amount or even less than the amount that I got them for. So.
I would never get rid of Study in Emerald just because I have a billion Martin Wallace games, and I consider it one of those games. So.
Yeah, I have a signed copy with Utopia, I think, and nobody wants to play it with me, but it will stay in my collection, hopefully. So maybe one of my kids will be growing, play it with me in like 5 years or 6 years.
I am a collector. I collect things, I've got like 700-800 books. I've paid for first edition books of books that I really like. I've got 10 years of every X comic title from when I was in high school that I saved. I've got, I was an idiot and bought DVDs before there was this wonderful thing called Netflix. So I've got all these things. So I like to collect stuff too. I mean, there's certain things I want, like for example, the game Argent the Consortium. I'll probably never play that game again, but I like that it's so absurd, so I keep it. So it's almost like I'm curating it for myself, if you will.
Yeah, I'm quite the opposite of collector. I like if some game is not fitting or I hate it or something like that, I just get rid of it because I don't want to hold on. But I think it's a cultural thing. I hope. I don't know, but because I have game collectors. I have a friend that sells none of his games, even if they are pretty bad. So.
Well, I'm curious about that. Me and my wife recently went through that. Like, if a game sits on the case for 8 months, a year, or whatever, I'll get rid of it. My wife has games that are older than I am, and so like what? How do you guys decide when it's time to get rid of a game? Or
if I'm done playing it, like if I play a game once a year, some games are just a once a game type, like year type of game. But if I love it every time I play it that one time, I'm gonna keep it. But if I'm done with the game, like I just trade it away.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. How about you, Travis?
I've got a bad collector's germ, but I've been working very hard to sort of. I think I got last year I probably purchased /trade for / was given 50 games that I never even opened or played. So I've slowly been returning them back to the shop where I work because they're just, it's ridiculous. It's excessive, and or they'll be like, I'll have it, and I've never opened my copy, and then I'll be at a game meetup, and I'll be like, oh, I've always wanted to play that, and then I'll play it, and then I'll be like, this is dog shit, and then I want to get rid of it. So yeah, I mean, I've got a problem for sure. I mean, I've only been in this hobby since like 2011, and I've got like 600-ish games, and that's like working to keep it down.
Yeah. You need to work to keep it down. It's crazy. I have a friend that I have like almost 1,000 games, and I just went to his house just to see how much space it takes, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like
what happens is they end up under beds, they end up in the attic, they end up in closets, they end up on your dining room table for months and months and months. And I mean, I would guess.
So you had some experience.
I'm opening like this door. It has like cereals and a game and like stuff like that. It's like crazy because we have small apartments here. Don't have like big homes, and you stuff the games everywhere. And his wife is like want to kill him, which is probably she should, because it's like crazy. You pull up a cereal and then you see like a nice card game right next to it. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't get it. But as I told you, I'm not a collector at all, so I have some games that I like and I will keep, but it's like, I don't know, less than 5 maybe.
Yeah, I have the collector bug. Even though Board Game Geek, I've separated some library for my personal collection. And unfortunately, the personal collection went to 0 when I started the Board Game Geek convention,
Right.
and now I've built it back up to like 1,400 games, which is too many.
What do you do with the games that you cycle out of the BGG collection? Do you bring them back to your personal collection?
I need to figure that out, Barry. I need to figure that out. Because right now the space, we can only bring 5,000 games to the convention. Only. So I have more than 5,000. We have basically 9,000 games total. So we put them in storage or in bins.
Why can you only bring 5,000? Is that a room issue?
Just, otherwise we'll be taking 4 trucks.
Okay.
Right, we already take 4 trucks, and we'd be more than 4. So we have 40 shelves for games, and that's it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then
that we have in stock.
Well, I gotta show you this picture. Hold on. So we've been starting to do this auction every year at BGG-Con, where we put about 100 games up for auction, but 100 is not enough. So I need to find out. I need to find a better solution.
Door prizes.
Yeah, and the thing is, people just don't really appreciate it.
Well, you
We have door
send me a
prizes
list of
already.
what you want to get rid of, and I will let you know if there's anything.
Yeah.
So here's a picture I took this weekend.
Oh, the storage bins.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
Everything on the shelves is the library. On the bottom shelf, everything above it in bins with the numbers is like storage. And there's two of those one above each other. You can see on the left part of the picture all the games that are like, it's 2, and those pallets are 12 bins to a pallet. It's pretty crazy. And if anybody looked at the Spiel preview list, it's more games this year than ever.
Yeah.
Higher than ever. Yeah.
Crazy.
But there was fewer things that I was interested in. Like there's.
Yeah, that's because the market's saturated and just garbage is coming out.
So is this the year of the crash that people keep predicting?
I don't think so.
I mean, you guys say that you're not really interested in anything, but there's like.
But
so
I think.
also.
No, because I think that there's more like new people, as evident by all the wonderful questions being asked on the Board Game Geek Facebook page.
Come on, everybody started out.
people coming in who care about stupid filler games, like doesn't even have to like have real rule sets. If it's catchy and whatever, then they're gonna want to buy it because ooh, shiny. And you know, the people who like I don't know real games, heavy games, like we're kind of out of luck. Like, well, gonna dust that one off the shelf and play that again. Like, so I mean, it's kind of good because you have to revisit things, but
so there's a gap, there's a hole in the market right now. We're saying that even with all those games, there's still not the right kind of games coming out.
well, not for it's kind of like Gen Con in the housing. Like, they don't care if the people who've been coming to Gen Con for 20 years don't get downtown because someone else will take that hotel and be happy, or be happy to be 20 miles away. Like, they don't care if you come or not because they have someone else who will fill your spot. For every one of you, there's like 10 who would be like, I don't care, I'll walk on a camel, whatever, it doesn't matter.
To put this into perspective, this Hall 7, is the same square footage as Hall 2, is this hall. Which it's not. This map's not correct. So you have this Hall 2, or sorry, is this Hall 3? Yeah, I think it's 3. Yeah. And then Hall 7 is actually the same square footage, and there's 100 new booths here this year at Spiel. Yeah. This is a new hall they just added, and it looks small, right? It looks like a tiny booth, but it's at least as big as Hall 3.
How many hall totals is there at Essen?
There's really 4, but 4.5 I think is really what it is. Yeah, so Hall 1 is where we used to be. Right here. Right here, where our booth was like right here, near Mayfair. And there's probably like 50 vendors here, and then there's probably another 100 here, which is, the Hall 2 is more of a fantasy type games, and although Carcassonne is there, I see that this year may be a little different. And then Hall 3 is like the big boys, you would say. Amigo, Pegasus, Zork, Ravensburger, Haba, etc., Cosmos, Asmodee. And then Hall 7 is where I think all the new people are. And Board Game Geek. By the way, we've been going for like 10 years. We're not new.
But you know what? You can complain about it, or you can just like it because someone else will take your spot.
Exactly. I'm not complaining because I'm happy to be at Spiel. No, there's nothing like it, right? And
I don't know.
We got moved for a reason. I guess there was some reason that I don't know about. Anyway, so.
Same people who were on Gen Con took over us. And scary.
Yeah. Well, and also this year you have tons of good games coming up for us, and I think I tried to focus on my list to get like top 10 games that I want to buy, and this year it's like exploding. Last year it was like I could easily pick 5 games. This year it's like crazy. And in Gen Con you have like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 big releases, and here it's like it's in Essen, it's like crazy. I don't know, it's the variety is just too much, I think.
Well, to circle back around to like the collection thing, Travis, how are you storing your games? Are you in a house or apartment?
I live in a house. I mean, I've got like a almost 3,000 square foot house, but it's up in one of the guest bedrooms, closets, and it's sealing the floor at this point.
Yeah, that's the same way for me too.
Yeah, I'm pretty much
problematic, to say the least.
I'll be looking for new shelving solutions soon. You know, I have these smaller ones behind me. My wife's got this thing about sunlight in the room. I don't know why, but I wanted to go high and she wouldn't let me, so I ended up going out. You know, and it's not ideal for me. So, like I said, we'll be looking for something soon.
And I imagine in Israel, space is really tight.
Yeah.
Or you don't live in Tel Aviv, do you?
Again?
Where do you live in Israel?
In Haifa.
Is there more area space there for houses and stuff?
Yeah, you know, we are fighting for each square meter here. You know, even but as I told earlier, I have like one big shelving unit, and that's it. And if the game doesn't fit there, then I need to either sell something or get a new
Right.
place.
So you have a strict space.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do like it because I just, we have like 56 weeks a year, and I play like 1 or 2 games each meetup, and we have it once a week. So I won't play more than 100 games, that's for sure, for a year. So my thought, and then if I don't like the game and I don't see that I will play, then I will just moving on and get new games. So every time this year in preparing for Essen, I want to bring back like 12 games, and I need to get rid of 12 games. But I don't have any space for them. And those like huge Kickstarter games that comes with tons of miniatures, and you don't have any space to put them, I just pass on them because I just don't see any good solution for them in my collection. But they look cool. I wish I could get them in. Like, they will take physically 5 or 6 games out of my shelf, and it's too much.
Is there anything you regret getting rid of?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I have no regrets, I think, whatsoever. But I sold first edition just to get a second edition because the art, I think, Lords of Scotland, I had the first edition and I didn't like the art or the rules that didn't, so I sold it, and I then hoped to get a second edition, and it came out. So it's not a regret, but I was like, I hope that they will reprint it, but I didn't like the first edition. So I like the second edition. They had good art on it.
Have any of you guys ran into an issue where the second edition was worse than the first edition? I'm just curious.
I'm kind of a purist. I don't know that I have the second edition of any game.
Okay.
I prefer St. Petersburg first edition.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
The Doris, whenever somebody gets rid of Doris and Frank's art, or Doris Malthal's art, it gets frustrating. Same thing with Tigers and Euphrates.
Yes.
It's mostly artwork. It's not rules.
Okay.
I don't like.
Go ahead.
I have the first edition of Cabalos, and I don't like the new artwork on the box, but I think they didn't change anything inside the box, so based on that, I think, and also maybe Princess of Florence, I didn't like the second edition at all, or the third edition. I don't know which edition they did, but they...
Chinatown, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always is art. I don't really think rules change much from it.
No. They changed the rules. The rule book is different, but the rules are the same. But I don't like the art style they took. I like the old one, so I never switched from them.
Sorry, I'm dealing with some Spiel stuff.
Mike, are you still there?
I'm also, I got like way back the Clash of Culture, the first edition. They have wooden cubes to put in the slots, if you know the game. And I have a friend that have the second edition. They have like plastic cubes that are really hard to put on those slots. So I'm also, this is the second edition that I didn't like at all. They lost something there.
Good.
So this is kind of an off-topic thing. Has anybody switched over to Google's inbox?
I don't use Google for mail.
Do you use Gmail? No? Anybody? No? Just me?
I tried, but didn't feel comfortable with it.
It's changed my life, actually.
Oh,
For the better?
I can use my email now. For the better. Because it has this thing where you can click the pin. Or you can snooze an email and it'll come back and hit you again. Just me. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know enough people that have that problem, Scott.
Yeah. You kind of get a lot of email. But with Gmail, I could never, if it scrolled off my page, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, right? Where I still needed to address something, there was really no good way for me to keep it to the top.
Yeah, you can start it, but it's like you need to hand management things and do like folders.
You have to use the system. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to customize it very well. And I think I'm at this point, so I don't want to insert anything new because it will ruin my small little controlling order.
So did Lance leave for good?
I don't know. He's packing or something
And then Travis just took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna drive. Well, although I'm a driver, I drove from New Hampshire to St. Louis for Geekway. I drove from New Hampshire to Indy last year. I drove from Florida to Indy this year.
Yeah.
Might drive Florida to Dallas. I don't know. I might fly that. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Are you driving solo? Do you have anybody with you, or are you just by yourself?
No, just by myself.
Wow.
I like driving, like I do, and I don't know. There's so much different country to see. Although you hit states where you're like, oh, I hate this place, but
Carolina.
Ohio's like that. I hate driving through Ohio.
Yeah, I haven't taken a plane since 2000.
Really?
So you remember what it used to be like in the good old days?
Yeah, where you could just walk in. Yeah.
Yeah, we could go right through and meet people at the gate, all that stuff. Yeah, it's awesome.
The only issue I ever had was I went out to Kansas. My brother was stationed out there in the Army, and I took a guitar, and they gave me a little bit of issue with that, but that was just, to change of climate and all that. I had to loosen the strings. But yeah, that was the only issue I ever had flying. I was actually looking. Did you know you could buy like a 15-day pass for Amtrak for like I think it was like $500, but you could go like across the country on this.
It takes 3 days to go.
Yeah.
4 days.
But I thought that was pretty interesting.
It takes 2 days to go to Chicago to Dallas. Or a 2-hour flight.
How long would it be driving? About 20 hours, 24?
2 days? 3 days?
To drive? Okay.
Oh, that's a quitter. I made it from New Hampshire to St. Louis in 1. Drove for 20 hours.
How many hours? Oh, forget that.
That was crazy. I was totally like delusional. I was like, I was like, so the time change, like, I was not aware of it until like the phone told me like I was arriving at a certain time. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna stop. It's only 2 more hours, but it really wasn't just 2 more hours. And by the time I noticed, it was 2 more hours, and I was like, oh, that was bad news. But I did it.
Hours.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. The longest I've ever done is 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went. I think it was 18.
That's crazy. We are a small country, but we change it with lots of flights every year, so flying around, so you spend more time flying. But everything here is like 1 hour, 2 hour drive.
All of Europe too is close. It's like when you get overseas, everything's so close together. It's weird.
Oh, for us.
Yeah, people from overseas come to America and they think, oh, I can just drive somewhere.
Nope.
What's his name? He came. He's from Italy. He came last year or a couple years ago to visit, and he flew into Chicago. And he's like, "Hey, can I drive down to meet you in Dallas?" And I'm like, "No, you're not going to be able to." He got on a bus. It's a 24-hour bus to get from Chicago to Dallas because it stops every. And I think Europeans and from other countries just don't realize how big America is.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It takes you a day to drive out of Texas.
Yeah, Texas is miserable to drive in.
I missed one connection flight going to Gen Con this year from New York, and then I asked my other, I have a friend waiting for me in Indiana, and I told him, how much is it to drive right now from New York to Indiana? He's like, I don't know, it's like 11, 12 hours, and I go, really? Crazy. It's like 1 hour, 90-minute flight or something like that. It's so huge. It's amazing.
Well, for something like Gen Con, like if I'm buying a bunch of games, like I think it's easier to just drive because then I can just drive it back. Like it's not the end of the world. But like BGG, I don't buy anything there because the only what I would get, I would just get from Amazon.de anyway before that happened. So it's not like I need to drive there. I could fly to there.
Yeah. Well, you can always ship stuff too, right? So this year at Gen Con, I don't know if anybody else, I think we've talked about this, but there was no UPS there.
Oh, yeah.
Which totally screwed up my plan. So we had 20 boxes of games to send back and no way to do it. So we, luckily, a couple that volunteers for me has a car and they drive from Chicago and they took all the stuff.
That's nice.
But normally we ship back 10, 15 boxes. And this year new UPS, and someone said, I don't know, to me that means there's a Gen Con stopped them from coming. Like there's no reason why UPS would not come. It's I would think it's a very lucrative position that they have. And maybe the convention center said something, or Gen Con itself.
Yeah, I think the convention guys, though, I don't remember the name of the company that runs everything. They're like the union. They might have a say on that because they are very strict.
Yeah.
I have a story about them because the other year, I think it's 2014, I have just a small package of expansion flying from Belgium to the States, and it cost me like 25 euro to ship it from Belgium to the States, and then they charged me $90 to move it from the entrance of the hall to my booth, which is like 200 meters or I don't know, crazy.
No, the prices are ridiculous.
Yeah. And I showed the invoice to my supplier, my manufacturer, and he was blown away. I told him, you will never send anything to here, right? You will send it to my hotel room, and they will be. I will just pick it up and walk all the way. So they are crazy people, though. The guys that runs the
Fern. It's called Fern. We have the same problem at BGG Con.
So
if you ship things there, you have to. If you do it through the Freeman, the lading charges are ridiculous.
So, good to know because I'm going the first time, so I will meet you there. So we need to. Yeah, I have a nice, I think, retailer that wanted to bring back games from Spiel, our games, to his store. So we have like per-release copies that he can sell to his devoted customer. So I will try to use him as my mule, and then to get him off, to hand off those games back there. But because otherwise it will be so costly to ship games from Germany directly to the G-Con.
So, Aldi, how are you getting games back from Essen? Are you on a boat or
air shipping?
Air.
Yep. Air shipping. Basically, take the price of every game and double it. That's the price. Right. You spend 40 euros for a game. You spend 40 euros for shipping.
Okay.
That's a rough formula.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good assumption.
Not cheap.
Would it be cheaper by
since
boat?
Lance isn't here, you're gonna still ship back his mule, right?
Lance doesn't know how good he has it. I won't offer again next year.
I go to Essen with like 2 packed, suitcases with empty suitcases inside, and try to bring back as much as they can, and then likely I will ship another package.
So a few years back, not even, maybe like 5 years back, we used to bring stuff by hand. We'd pack up suitcases, and we'd ship back 4 suitcases of games, and that was enough. But now it's a new level now.
Yeah.
And we would cut the boxes, which I know, travesty for everybody.
Yeah.
Flatten all the boxes, and then you that saves a ton of room, by the way. If you don't care about the boxes, which honestly I cared for a minute, and then I got over it. Because as soon as you just tape them up, they look exactly the same.
Well, these are
But
you.
the value got on.
But we don't sell anything.
Doesn't matter.
Although, yeah. What's the value? The value is playing the game, not holding the box.
Oh, I was not allowed to give that answer earlier, so.
I know, exactly. I'm using your words, Gavin. Using your words. Obviously now we don't have to do that. But back in the day when you're like, I have 200 games, I can't figure out how to get them into 2 suitcases. Cut the boxes.
Fine.
Better have cut off boxes than no games. So,
yeah. Dump all the pieces into a Ziploc.
True. And then you see how much actually a game gets space. Why those boxes are so big. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have an original Through the Ages with the tape on the corners.
Well, no one's going to want that because there's tape on the corners.
I know, but no, because they're going to want the 3rd edition, which comes out this year, right?
Well, I heard it streamlined some stuff. I'd be interested in seeing it.
So I talked to Petter, I think it's Petter, at GenCon, and he said they spent more time developing this game than all of their games put together. Dungeon Lords, Dungeon Pets, all of it.
No,
This better be a great game.
I have people I know that work on it tirelessly, so I'm really stoked about it.
Okay.
It's on my first must-buy game from Essen this year, so looking forward to get it.
How much time does that take? 4 hours. Is 4 hours long enough for you? It's probably long enough.
Well, Beards and
That's long
Meeples.
enough.
Beards and
Did
Meeples.
they even out games at Essen? Like
So,
Days of Wonder or whatever with Mysterium this year, and they did it with 5 Tribes last year, where it's like, we only do 50 a day, or is it just like, well, if you're
no.
here.
I have never seen a limitation in Essen.
Mm.
Never limited.
Like,
What they did for Alchemists was they did pre-orders first. Like if you pre-ordered the game, you pick it up, and then Saturday they released everything else to the public. So sometimes there's that deal.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of a 50 a day. Although maybe when Duck Dealer came out, Splotter was doing that. Like there was a certain amount per day, but I can't remember any limitations of product. Because you either have it or you don't, and if you have it, you have hundreds of copies.
Right.
If not thousands. All right.
Beards and Meeples is asking. I'm sorry, Beards and Board Games is asking. Is there one game coming out of Essen that you can't wait for?
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, the Flick 'em Up expansion. I'm excited about an expansion.
Yeah.
It has the horses, and I think that's awesome. I love Flick 'em Up because spaghetti westerns are one of my favorite things. I love dexterity games, and it's like, boop, together. Fantastic.
I guess the Splotter game, the fast food magnate.
Do what?
The fast food magnate.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's probably the top for me. And Aya. It's a Domino's game.
I was looking at
Knock the Domino's over. That's pretty
I
exciting.
think I saw that. Remember seeing it.
I was looking through some of these lists because Robin asked me to do something, but why is it that these publishers don't give any information about some of these games? Like, you can't find rule books, you know, you get a picture and a short description. Why do publishers do that? I don't get that.
Well, they might not be ready to release them, right? I mean, it might that might be just what they have to give. Like,
Yeah, I have a good answer to that because I know many of my friends, publishers, they are like rushing things out. So even to the ages, they don't have right now their actual final rulebook, so they won't release it. Everything is rushed out. You will probably see the most things come out just a week before, and those admins on BGG, we need to work out those files and get them in there because for my game, I just finished my final, and I will ready to just post it just tomorrow. And I know I'm ahead of some of the other guys that are still struggling with the rules. It's a pain. So yeah.
So you're not. Well, when is this? And that's like a month out. I don't remember.
No, it's 3 weeks.
So, do you expect to get the rules finished for the game, like the publishing end of it, the manufacturing end of it? How long does that take to go from, you giving them the copy to them printing it?
Yeah, the rules are the easiest part to print. So we will probably make it the last thing that we need to add on. I know many companies just, even 4 or 5 days before they shrink up the games, they put the rules like that. So you will see many rules, they have like errata and notes like that the box didn't cover this, or we had different component on the box because the box was printed 2 months ago and the rules are just on the last week they could. And this is the reason is that they try to do, at least what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to do the best rules that I can do in that, and always you will get back and proofread and get mistakes and try to get it at the best shape you can.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. That just surprised me that, it's that close. That just surprised me.
No, it's crazy.
It's right to the bitter end.
Yeah.
Some days I go around in Spiel and talk to the publishers, and they're like, "Yeah, our games aren't done yet. They're coming tomorrow." And it's like, okay, it's the day before. You're gonna get them tomorrow, right? Like that's when they're done. Crazy.
Yeah.
And this year, I think, being 2 weeks earlier than normal is gonna throw people off. Like, I mean, you've had to basically advance all your, because you get into this habit of like, okay, well, Spiel's in a month or 2 months or whatever. Let's get the printing done. Now it's 2 weeks earlier this year, so I think there might be some no-shows. I'm gonna predict.
Yeah, it's crazy. Those 2 weeks are crucial. I had to do some things to get those in print, and all the printers are right now in full capacity. And if you need to change something, they will say nope. You just need to go with it, and then you will have a lot of service replacement, things to change. So yeah, it's like that.
I personally think we were talking about the fallout, the blow up with the board games. I think that will be the cause of it. The manufacturers not being able to keep up with it. Yeah.
With demand.
Yeah.
Well, just print less stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I never hear that theory, but I'm when we talk to distributors, I just look at they have like monthly order forms, and then I open one of those for a specific month, and they have like the store owner, the hobby shop owner need to decide between like 1,200 new items that he can buy for his shop, and it's crazy. He cannot afford to hold everything. So I think something will be reduced or the market will cut down because there are just too many, and they all looks cool. You know, I don't know what I would cut down, and so store owners instead of back in the days they will order like 6 copies of your game. Now they will buy like 2 copies from this game and 1 copy from this game, and they are spreading options, and this costs a lot to every publisher. So I don't know how much you can keep it up in those terms.
Now, do you manufacture in China, lad, or is there something in Israel?
No.
Or Germany? Yeah.
If we will manufacture here, it will be very difficult because of expenses and taxes and the workforce. So we manufacture most in Europe, and some games are in China, and we try to be as much as cost effective, and not to be so cruel to our customers, because what I try to do this year to cut down price. So even if I am an independent publisher, I want you to buy the game for $30. So sorry. I really try to cut down production at all costs.
I think Pandemic Legacy is near the top of my list too, because Michelle really likes Pandemic, and we've already talked about playing through Pandemic Legacy.
I'm up in the air with that. I don't know if I get the same group together long enough. What is it? A minimum of 12?
It's 12 to 24 games.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the same thing with Risk
Legacy.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get a group to sit there that many times. Yeah.
I played a preview and we went through 3 games in like 2 hours.
Okay, no, that ain't bad.
We were just jamming through it really fast. It was maybe 2.5, 3 hours, maybe more than like that.
Now, how far in before it diverges from the initial Pandemic game?
Game 1.
Game 1, really?
Game 1. It diverges, yeah. Yeah, we only saw the first 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a big Pandemic person anyway, so I'll be passing on that.
Oh, that's the one that got me in the hobby.
Even if it changes the game, like, okay.
Probably. I'm hardcore like that.
You are.
No, I would honestly like my issue with something like that would be the getting the same people together for the same amount of games. Like, would I watch it to see if like maybe it was something I was interested in? Maybe, but like, I believe in playing anything once. Like, but that's something like that you can't just play once, right? I mean, you can't just be like, and now I'm in game 4. It's like I have to start it from the beginning and go to the end. Oh, this guy's here.
Here we go. Yeah, I mentioned this to my wife. She's got issues with destroying components and stuff like that. She's weird with that type of thing. But like I said, she's got schemes that are older than I am. But we'll see.
There's definitely some marking of the game in this.
Yeah.
And you cannot. It's permanent. Yeah.
No, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Nope, I'm out.
I don't know. I'm
out.
To me, it's like a.
But you cut boxes. You're a box cutter. I can't do it.
It's a divorce. You divorce yourself from the physicality of board games. You're there for the experience.
Some of it is like the beauty of the game. Like some games, you're just like,
absolutely.
Wow,
oh, for sure.
Looking at it.
So we had a copy of it, Advanced Civilization, in the library, and it had never been punched. And I'm like, why is it in the library then? So I took it out. Yeah, right. I'm not going to let it sit there and just get smashed, year after year.
Yeah.
So I definitely have respect for the, components and stuff.
Likely.
Hey, John Rott.
Hey, guys.
Hey, John.
I gotta say, John, you really packed it in there with that expansion. Holy cow. He weighs like 2 pounds.
Thank you. Thank you. I grew up playing Tetris, so.
Yes. I could not figure. I made it all fit in the base box, by the way.
Good job.
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. We designed it to fit. The only thing that I would recommend not fitting, though you can, I might use this box. It's like a tiny little midget box or whatever, to hold my minis. But otherwise, I would just start keeping the minis separate so they don't get injured. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Hi, Elad.
We're all
Pleasure to meet you.
running out of steam, I think.
So
You're
from the
running
start-
out of steam. Well, geez. Maybe
Well,
I'm talking again then.
Well, Lance has a 4-hour-long story to share now that you mentioned it.
I remember when I ran out of steam once.
I ran a steam iron back in the day.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was trying to like figure out which one of these games I could pre-order and to make it easier for you to pick them up. And I don't know. A lot of them aren't like allowing me to like say another person is going to pick it up, kind of thing.
Oh, just put your name on there.
Yeah, but then what if they say, "Well, show me your ID" or whatever to
Who is it, by the way? Who?
Well, I'm not gonna name it out loud. Just don't worry about it. It's just it's a website thing. It's a website thing.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure it out. It's not like a personal dude like saying "screw you."
Oh,
It's-
okay. It's a PayPal thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll have to work through it. No, I'll figure it out and I'll get you a revised list. So why are you leaving so early? If Spiel isn't until
We're
like
taking a vacation and going through Prague and Berlin and Hamburg beforehand.
Good idea.
We're going to see Miniature Wunderland in Hamburg, and we're going to all the Berlin stuff, like Checkpoint Charlie and all that. And then Prague, I don't know. We got a lot of time in Prague. I don't know the names of anything, so.
Did you peel off like 1/1000th of the value of your company to pay for this, or?
My wife works too, by the way. You know. No, I mean it's part of the trip.
Gotcha. Yeah, my anniversary is the 8th of October, and so like I don't know if I'll ever be able to convince my wife that traveling to Germany for Spiel will be a good idea for our trip. So
Yeah, if you can swing an extra week, you do the sightseeing first, and then you go.
I don't have a $74 million website, so I really,
It has been 4 minutes.
It's already come up a couple times.
So who's gonna get Scott the shirt that has that on it? Like I own a $74 million website.
I think you should just say $74 million man.
Yes.
No.
Okay. And I'm gonna need your shirt size, and then this is gonna happen for you.
No.
Well, I'll guess. And if it's too big, it's too big. If it's too small, well, you're welcome. Okay. But I gotta go. One of my kids is awake, so I'll see you guys later.
Good night.
Bye,
Good night.
Bye, Lance.
Oh, I thought she'd never leave.
Oh.
I don't know. I apologize. Actually, one of my kids woke up. That's why I had an extended absence there. So had to go and daughter is sad. I'm not going to be home. So need to.
You guys leaving tomorrow?
I'm leaving in 4.5 hours.
Thursday.
I am going to go to the airport and.
Fine.
Yeah. So.
Spiel? For goodness sake, what are you going 3 weeks early for?
A GrandCon.
I know.
Funny guy.
Funny guy eating ice cream and angel food cake. I'm in a good place right now.
I don't really like ice cream, and I don't really like cake.
What?
Yeah.
Your birthdays must suck. What do you do?
Seriously, when I was a kid and like I'd have the birthday parties at like Skateland or whatever, like I would eat like 2 scoops of ice cream, and then I would blow the candle out on the cake, and that would be the extent of it. Like I just let everybody else enjoy it. I got gifts, so whatever kind of thing. But that's
I'm
me.
kind of neutral on ice cream. I mean, I'm like alright with it,
Yeah.
Cake's cool.
I don't know. Ice cream is just like I don't know. It's just it's too sweet. It's just like it's I don't know what it is about it. It just bothers me.
Blasphemy.
I've
Yeah,
got
I don't
another
know.
must-buy game, or must-see soon. The Bloody Inn by Pearl Games.
That is actually I was thinking about putting that on the list actually because that game looks awesome.
Does look awesome. The artist who did Coup, he did a version of Coup. It's great.
I buy
Yeah.
every year the games of Pro Games, but this year when I initially saw the Bloody Inn, I didn't know much about it. It was really weird coming from those guys, but it's very bizarre. So I'm really intrigued. I need to see it, and they're like our neighbors, so I will just harass them a little on Wednesday. So sure. But I
Dang
usually
it.
buy them.
I thought I had a final list. You just reminded me of the Bloody Inn.
I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Scott's going to have to hire a private jet.
I'll have to
Lance.
offload it to one of my volunteers.
That's crazy.
I'll
started with five games.
PayPal you the money if that works for you.
Oh, we'll figure it out after the fact.
Okay, well, whatever.
It's based on like what I can get, right, or what I can get time to do.
You heard it. He said they were free. He was buying them for me. We're all witnesses.
You have to buy him his T-shirt in exchange, though.
Yes. Like we'd say, he can rebuild the servers or whatever. He has the technology. He's the $74 million man. For those of you who don't know the running joke, if you're listening to this or to our guests, we usually check and see how much BoardGameGeek.com is worth, and it's fluctuated between 76 million, gone all the way down to 72.5 million, but now it's climbing back up.
How are you surviving, Scott? Oh man.
It's been a rough week, man.
It's a good thing your wife works too. I mean,
Yeah.
make up that missing $2.5 million.
He canceled filet mignon one night this week, for.
What else is coming out? Not to change the subject. Yeah, it's a lot of games, but it's hard to stand out these days, I think.
I think.
Hey, let's talk about standing out, because that's always something that everybody wants to know how to do. Like, two guys who are like game collecting grandmasters, and you lad and your buddy with like 1,000 games and things like that. What makes a game stand out to you these days? When there's 500 games on Kickstarter, there's no surprise that there's 100 new booths at Essen. What stands out? How do you make a game? What do you look for in a game that you expect the retailers to pick up? I mean, that's what makes or breaks a publisher, So what stands out? What do you guys think? It's your professional opinion.
I think artwork is like your number one thing. Fantastic artwork.
I agree.
That's like your first, we're a visual species. So, for me, the artwork or components, like a three-dimensionality. Everybody freaked out about Colt Express last year because it was three-dimensional. Right?
I agree.
That's one thing. I mean,
the selling point, it was the heist thing, 3D. Yeah.
There's been lots of three-dimensional games, though. I mean, that's.
I wasn't specifically meaning 3D, but like something that stands out from the crowd, right? Like a three-dimensional game, a cool theme, great artwork. A design that. I mean, I hate to say a good game, because no one knows at that point, right? We don't know, so that almost doesn't matter. I mean, for a longevity thing, where something that like is gonna take off, you have to have a great game, right? You have to have good gameplay. But initially, artwork, presentation, easy to learn. It doesn't take like a million years to learn it. Quick playing time, I hate to say, right? Because then more people get to try it, and the easier it is for the word of mouth to spread. I don't know if that's some of the things I feel dominate the hot games of a year. I mean, everybody was freaking out about Flick 'em Up, right? And it's a flicking game. You know, I'm not saying it's not a good game. It's a great game, but it has that cool look, three-dimensional, interesting theme, something that's not been done yet.
Yeah, the wooden
Although
ball.
it's arguable if it's been done, but miniatures. For some reason, miniatures are hot.
Well, people like that tangible part of the game. Like anything that helps with the immersion. I think people are always looking for.
And we're kind of going down into a world of sequels in board gaming, right? Where a known game with a specific value makes a sequel, like another version or a expansion.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
a good
say that again?
If a game has another version that's similar in nature to the first game, like an offshoot,
Okay.
using the same brand, like an Alhambra card game or a Settlers Catan dice game or something like that. Right? Like we're just in that world.
Yeah.
Those automatically get looked at because the original game was good. Even if this offshoot's not so good, it still gets attention.
Just look at my Essen games that I look. I think the only one that also stands out is, of course, it's 504 from Finland 3.
Yeah.
And I always look at what's your game. I think Nippon this year.
Nippon.
Yeah. And I hear that Guild of London will not be there, so it's off my list. It's good because I wanted that game, but I don't
Which
have
one?
to stay.
What was the name of it?
Guilds of London, I think. It's from. They got a space within the Minecraft. The Martin Wallace company.
Oh, Tree Frog.
Yeah, he's from England.
No surprise there.
Yeah. Those guys. So I really stoked about it.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, I read it somewhere that he won't get them. Yeah. So those guys. So I was, because it looks like a really cool area control game, but I think that's it. You covered most of them. Guys, did you play the new version of, I don't know if it's a new version from Asmodee or Glory to Rome, the card game? Yeah, I don't know. They did a Japanese version of it. I don't know how to pronounce it.
What's the name of it?
I will write it because I'm afraid I will murder this name.
Time Stories too. Oh, Montana.
Yeah. Did you play it? Because
I have played it. It's fine. It's not Glory to Rome, but it's good.
It's not.
I mean, it's not. It's close, right? Like it's not. It's it's one of those games where the cards have multiple uses.
True.
Which is neat. Those kinds of games are my favorite kinds of games anyway. So.
Yeah. A lot of
Glory to Rome, baby.
Yeah. Well, it's the same designer.
Yeah.
Montana.
But you'll never be better than Glory to Rome.
That's what I think. Like Glory to Rome is like right here, and like anything that tries to be like it, it's hard to improve that game. I think.
We'll see.
The only thing wrong with Glory to Rome is being taught the game by some jerk who doesn't tell you about the Catacombs way of winning. And then and I just won. What?
Right. Oh, game's over.
Yeah.
What? You didn't tell me that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I did. Notice that's not how any of my 15-0 wins for
NASCAR
for Thunder Alley.
Thunder Alley.
Did you hear? I went I got my 15th win in Thunder Alley this past weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah, 15-0, baby. I'm retiring.
Did you play against your daughter?
No. Why does everybody think I play?
I'm just following the what everybody else put out there.
I am 15.
You won't play with adults, Scott.
Oh, funny. I think I am gonna retire. I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna put the game up there. I'm gonna just put like a ribbon that has 15 on it, and then around the box. What was it?
You need to do a final bout. Pay-per-view.
You gotta get your milk.
Real for the
milk
challenge.
with the roses and stuff.
No, why would I? I already. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I? 15 is a perfect number to end on. You know, it's 15-0. It's a perfect number. I mean, I rarely play games as many times as I played Thunder Alley. No, you're not. No, I'm not going to be. Nope, I'm done.
I think 16 is a better number to end on.
No, 15-0. I can be very comfortable.
You're like the Floyd Mayweather of Thunder Alley.
I would never. No, because I don't beat women, so I'm not.
I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to his 49-0 record.
Oh.
Instead of going 50, he's going 49. Because 50 is like a round number.
Though, Lance, I am good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. You're a big dude. I mean, it would end poorly.
No, yeah, 15-0. Just I can put my I can hang my hat on that.
And then if you play the 16th, which may be a better number, if you lose, it's like, oh, suck. Why did I do that? You know?
Why did I? You'll always be questioning it. Why did you do it?
It took them a good 40 minutes to convince me to finally play. Even though I said I'm just gonna win, and then you guys are gonna feel bad, you know.
How many people did you play against?
It was a 5-player game.
A 5-player game. Wow. Okay.
And I demanded to play with my
Black.
The Mythos cards, yes, or else I wouldn't play. And so then they acquiesced and gave me the Mythos cards. And like I said, I won by almost 50 points or just over 50 points. It was crazy. It was like they weren't even playing. It was just.
They just didn't understand the deep psychological impact of the game.
I don't know. Like I said, by 45 minutes in, I had all my cars right in a row, and they never blocked them off. I had all my cars right in a row, and I was leading the pack. It was just like, and then it was just like, put the cars in cruise control, and it was nothing they could do. So.
Now, what if your number one fan for Alaboom asked you to play at BBG?
Who's my number one fan of Alaboom?
Paul Thompson's.
Well, Paul's gonna be at BGG-Con. I don't know. I mean, I'm really booked solid at BGG-Con. I mean,
I'm booked solid.
Yeah.
You don't film anything, so what do you book?
By the way, we booked you for a special event. I don't know if you saw. Did you get that email?
What?
It's a panel.
No, I haven't gotten
an
email.
Okay. We'll get one.
See, look, I'm even busier than I thought I was.
Yeah, you're in.
Yeah, all right, 1 hour out of 4 days.
I usually ask people. I didn't book them and tell them about it.
It's just crazy how maybe Paul and I can sit down and have a soda together and just talk about how great it would be if I had the time available to play Thunder Alley. But unfortunately, I just don't think. Maybe we can just plan for it in 2016. Gosh, I mean, if he had requested it, earlier, that would have been something. Maybe we could have worked it out, but.
What if he just books you for a game and then tells you about it?
Yeah, I told you later.
That would be cruel if we booked you for an event. All he tells me, oh yeah, what's that? It's Thunder Alley.
Thunder Alley, play with the stars.
Thunder Alley, play till you lose.
Yes. You have to play 10 simultaneous games of Thunder Alley. You just go around each table.
And you have to play with the pink card.
Like Andrew Looney does with his. What does he do? He does some game against the world. I can't remember what it is.
I actually took part in one of those like things where like play, like the guy sat in the middle and there was like 12 of us that played chess against him.
Right.
Like when I was big into chess and I was like 14 or 15. And he was an American champion. I can't remember the guy's name to save my life, but he destroyed me. I mean, it wasn't even I think I mean, like after about like the fourth or fifth move, it's one of those things where back when I played a lot of chess, you could just see.
You just knew.
You just knew. I mean, you're in that spot where you just knew you were on one leg. And eventually, that he was just gonna chop the other one out from underneath me. So, but it was kind of cool. It was cool to. God, what was that guy's name? Dang it!
Bobby Fischer.
No, it wasn't Bobby Fischer. I remember it.
Bobby Fischer did that. He played against like 30 people at the same time.
Yeah, but yeah,
I wish I could do that. Don't you? I don't know. That's kind of one of those things that the brain operates on a different level.
Well, he was. If you ever actually like read, I read a couple of his biographies, and he was. I mean, there's a really good case that he had Asperger's, and he didn't. He just he saw things differently, and like you don't want to say wired differently because I mean I don't think like technically he was normal. I mean like, but it was just like. He just saw things in a way that most people didn't do, and I mean he kind of and like later on in life after he kind of like he had his big splash and his big moment and where he kind of like showed everybody how good he was, he got really bored with chess. He hated it because it was just all it wasn't really playing, it was just memorization of strategies. Just like, oh, you did this, so now I do this. You do this, and he said then it was just whoever could remember, the best move at that moment or whatever. And he said it wasn't really fun anymore. So I don't know.
Here.
And then he started saying anti-Semitic comments and just all kinds of And so
That's a weird thing. So
A weird combination.
yeah.
I like that Searching for Bobby Fischer movie. I love that movie.
That is a good movie. That's a very good movie.
A chess movie. There's very few good. There's a chess movie coming out this weekend, I think.
It
Bobby
is.
Fischer movie or something.
Yeah, it is. And you know what movie that you people are talking about that people are saying it's gonna be so amazing or whatever, and I don't get how it's gonna be amazing other than maybe just the actors will do a good job. Is that Tom Hanks movie? Is it Tom Hanks that like they're talking about the spy exchange on the bridge?
Oh.
I forget what the name of the movie is. I could look it up, but I'm not going to bother. But
That's boring.
But I mean, if you guys remember that, it was the guy who Gary Powers, the guy that flew the U-2 bomber. Russians had him, and then we had a spy of theirs, and so then basically they worked out this deal where they all went to this bridge in the middle of the night, and
It's actually called the Bridge of Spies. So.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. And then they just basically both of them walked across the bridge, and and then just got in their cars and drove away. I mean, So here's this idea. It's kind of like Argo. It's like I know what the end of the movie is. I mean,
those movies are always kind of weird to watch.
They do the exchange, and then they go home. It's just like
Well, there's probably something after that makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's those movies just kind of like
when you know the ending of a movie. Yeah. Hey, the Titanic, it sinks.
Well, that was just for dreamy Leonardo DiCaprio or whatever.
That entire thing was such a.
What's the name of that chess movie that's coming out this weekend?
Somebody's gonna say it, and I'll know it immediately because it is about Bobby Fischer.
I gotta look at the new releases. No, not the player.
Pawn Sacrifice with Tobey Maguire.
That's right.
Does he shoot spider webs out of his wrists?
Yes, that's how he won the big match.
Yeah, because he got bored of just memorizing strategies, so he started
So he went and got himself bitten by a radioactive spider.
swing kicking pawns over.
Yeah, it was
Check.
quite the impressive.
I would enjoy watching that. I would enjoy.
79%.
Let's see. Oh, it's not.
Unrotten, I mean.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire and Liv Schreiber as Boris Spassky. You know, Liv Schreiber has.
Your Sarsgaard too.
Yeah.
Great.
Liv Schreiber. I didn't think that guy would actually like make it as an actor. Because he had like these kind of minor roles in like these movies and everything like that, and now he's like showing up in all these cool things, and he's got his own show on what's
Showtime or something.
yeah, like Showtime or whatever. And that's actually not a bad show. He's like a problem solver or something. Ray Donovan is what it is.
Yeah, right.
And that's not a bad show. I mean, it's just he's
good. I mean, a lot of people hated the Wolverine movie. I loved it. I admit, I think it's awesome. But he as Sabretooth was just like, it was awesome. He just did a great job. I mean, such a simple things. Superhero. I mean, Sabretooth's pretty two-dimensional, and he did a great job making him a really interesting character with great acting. He's got a good presence.
Yeah, there's one show. He has one face. The entire show, the show that you talked about, Ray Donovan, he does the same face. I don't know why he's doing a good job. He just have the same face the entire show. He never smile or anything. I don't know. But it's a good show, but I didn't get it from him.
He also had a good role in one of the like unsung like sports movies, Goon, back that was about oh god, who was the guy? Sean William Scott played basically this guy that was like Doug the Thug. He played like minor like league hockey or whatever, and then basically somebody sees that he basically could beat up people, and so then he got called up to be in like be the goon for this minor league hockey team.
That was funny.
He also narrates Hard Knocks, which is awesome.
If you liked Goon, you'd like that they're doing a sequel coming out next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's in it again.
Oh, good deal.
It's on his IMDb page.
Oh.
No,
I think Goon is still on Netflix. I believe. If you just want to watch, if you have an hour and a half or whatever, and you want to watch just kind of a goofy movie, it's very throwbacky. Also, kind of way back to like very throwbacky to
It's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix?
Yep.
Yeah.
The IMDb quote, it says, labeled an outcast by his brainy family, a bouncer overcomes long odds to lead a team of underperforming misfits to semi-pro hockey glory, beating the crap out of everything that stands in his way.
Yes.
That sounds great.
No,
People want to see hockey for it. It's the only reason to go.
Yeah, it's like, because if I remember correctly, in the movie, the premise is that he's just like like just at a hockey game, and like his buddy who just talks too much or whatever, like starts taunting some guy, and so like he taunts like the goon that's on the other like on one of the teams, and that guy climbs into the stands to beat up his friend. And then Sean William Scott like one punches the guy and knocks him out, and then like the coach from like some team calls him after seeing the video on YouTube or something, and like offers him a job as the goon. because they got to protect like
Because
some
that's all
star.
that matters in hockey.
Yeah. Well, I guess like the premise is that there's like this star player that they can't like that he got beat up or something, and now he's kind of cowardly, and so they basically they tell him his entire job is just to make sure that this guy is taken care of, and he's just not so then he just basically takes care of this guy or whatever. So there you go. But no, like I said, it's
definitely check it out. I'm always looking for stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said,
the good stuff's few and far between.
If you got an hour and a half or whatever, just to watch a kind of a ridiculous movie about hockey, and like it's very Slapshotty, if you remember Slapshot.
Yep.
Of course, a classic, but yeah.
All right, guys, I have to go.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna wrap this up because I still have to pack up my bags for my trip, and I always forget one thing, so I've been like trying to cell phone charger, battery charger for my camera, I'm just trying to make sure. Underwear, always a good thing. I might maybe I'll
probably the most important thing, right?
Well, I could commando the weekend. I got no problem doing that, but so
I don't have a problem you doing that.
All right. A lot. I know Mika left his thing up, so we'll show his thing again. Go back, Cabalos. The game looks pretty amazing. The artwork looks stunning, to say the least. I want to know who the Santa-looking guy with the sword on the left there. I want to know who that is. Forgot to ask him.
Well, I remember this as an app, an iPad app.
Well, I don't believe in apps. Unless they're like mozzarella sticks at Fridays. I really enjoy mozzarella sticks. Those are really good.
You go with Unlimited Apps Day.
Oh, what is that? What is Unlimited Apps Day?
You've not read that article where the guy goes, or it's a woman who goes for the unlimited apps and writes about it? You should search for Friday's Unlimited Apps.
Well, I know my brother has sworn
the story is kind of horrific.
Well, my brother wants to go do it, and he says you got to come out to Vegas and let's do the unlimited apps. And,
no, do not go to Vegas to eat at Fridays. Come on.
Well, I mean, I go there to do other things and hang out with my brother, but I mean,
yeah, sure.
But no,
there's so much good stuff in Vegas. Eat at Fridays.
Yeah, he said that you got to come out here, but no, right now, he lives there, yeah.
Okay.
There's endless shrimp right now at Red Lobster too. So I'll tell this story. I haven't gotten a chance to tell a story, so I'm going to tell a story. So there, a buddy of mine, and when I'll tell you more stories about this guy that are more private, because this guy is everybody's got that one friend that you could show up at his door with a big wet bag and a shovel, and he'd help you bury it with no questions asked. And that's my buddy Brad. And he
is that a good friend to have? I mean, is that
he just he never breathe a word. He never breathe a word about it to anybody. It would just be and he never bring it up again.
So awkward.
Yeah. But no, so Brad is married. He's got 4 kids, and he said when there was endless shrimp, he loved shrimp, and he said, he's he went to go eat endless shrimp, and he wanted to be there, and he just sat there and ate it, and he got really upset because his kids were getting annoyed, and his youngest was 4, and his wife was getting annoyed that he was staying there and eating shrimp, and he was like, this sucks. It's he's I only got 100 shrimp before my kids wanted to leave, and I was like, that's still a lot of shrimp. He's like, yeah, but I really like shrimp, and I was like, oh, okay. He's like, well, next time they have endless shrimp, we gotta go. And I was like, all right, we can do that. So fast forward a year, and then they put out the endless shrimp thing again, and so so my buddy Brad and I, and my buddy, along with my buddies Craig and Matt, we all go to Red Lobster. And it's just and Red Lobster is a weird restaurant to begin with. It's it's a chain, but a lot of people consider it really fine dining. You know, if you understand, and it's not bad food. I mean, the food's decent enough, but I mean, you'll like see sometimes there'll be people there like in like a suit, you know, and like somebody's got a really nice dress on, like you're like this is their big date night. You're just kind of like, it's the lob, you know, and they're kind of looking at me because I got a t-shirt and shorts on, like I'm
really called the lob.
Well, because I had a bunch of friends that worked there, and they would always call I got to work at the lob tonight. You know, they always call it that. But anyway, so like they kind of look at me like I was like some wackadoo, you know, because I was ruining their evening out because I was wearing like just a pair of jean shorts and a Metallica t-shirt, you know, just like. But regardless, so like we're sitting there and like we put in our orders or whatever, and then they're I mean a lot of places that have all you can eat X, it's like they start to vanish on you. Like after your like third or fourth order, they kind of like, you know, they don't go back.
Why do they care?
Yeah, well, who knows?
They don't own the place.
But at the lob, you know, like at least the one I go to, like you come back, they'll bring you your shrimp and they just ask you right there, should I put another order in for you? You know, oh yeah, and if you say yeah, put in 2. You know, oh yeah, sure, no problem. You know, and so we sat down and like they had like, you know, they have like 6 different varieties or whatever that you can have. And so I was having like these like grilled ones that are like with a little teriyaki sauce on them. They're pretty good, you know. And I was holding my own, I thought. But I mean, but Brad was just like 2 more orders, and the only thing he ordered was shrimp scampi, the stuff like it was marinating in that butter and that garlic butter. And he would get done with them, and about every other one, he would drink the butter out of the little like cup or whatever that they had it on. And he was just sitting there, and I mean, it was truly amazing to watch him consume these crustaceans. It was like he got to like 240 shrimp, and we were just like, oh my god, you know, it's like this is a lot of food, dude. And he's like, oh, it's just so good, it's just so good. And they came back and he's like, yeah, 2 more orders of shrimp scampi. And then as he's walking away, my buddy Matt said, and then go to a phone, dial 91 and wait. Just like, and the wait just kind of looked back, and then she said, and like I think he ended up with like 320 shrimp he ate, like all shrimp scampi, just like whatever. She said we had a couple of college guys in here last night, and they both ate over 600. I was just like, how do you eat 600 shrimp? I mean, they're not big, right? I mean, they're tiny. But 600 of anything is just it's a I don't know. It's a pretty insane amount of food.
Like 600 Cheerios is a lot of food.
600 Cheerios.
600 grains of rice.
It's like 3 bowls of Cheerios. You're done. Like
yeah. Well, this is also the guy that when I was at when we went to Vegas for my bachelor party, I might have told this story once before, but just the abridged version is that he ran out of money pretty quickly. Brad did, and so we made a bet. Well, just because he's a horrible gambler.
Oh, okay.
And
for Brad, you know.
No, and then and so then we all like chipped in like $50 each, and we said he couldn't eat 100 strips of bacon at the breakfast buffet. And he might have been able to do it if he wasn't dunking each piece in maple syrup before he ate it. He like literally when he walked back to the table, it looked like he had taken the steam tray. As far as like he had just taken the steam tray right out of there and walked back and sat down and started. He got to like 66 or 67 pieces of bacon. And he had the meat sweats going, and he was having trouble breathing. And I was just like, we just said, dude, you can just have the money. Just stop eating. You're gonna kill yourself. But so that's my buddy Brad for you.
I'm having flashbacks to Homer Simpson with a steak.
Yeah.
This man has died from eating too much steak at another restaurant.
the 64 slices of American cheese. It's like, have you been up in all nights eating cheese? I think I'm blind. All right, so we're calling it. Mika, you came back, so I was talking briefly about your game before we sign off. Was there anything you wanted to talk about your game and to get people to go check it out? Well, where can they go to learn more about Cabalos besides the Kickstarter page? Let's put it that way.
Well, the Kickstarter page, of course, now here visible, but if people would like to meet us in Essen, for example, you can find us there and just go back the game and you'll hear more about us.
What's your booth number in case somebody wants to check it out?
I had it right over here somewhere. It's
well, you're going to need that if you're going to be able to find your booth, just so you know.
Yeah, it's a big place, you know.
It's 131.
Yeah, here you go. Can you see it now?
I'm reading over the challenge. It's hysterical.
131. Yeah. We will be having a badass snow machine there because we are from Arctic Union, so bringing
I
the
hope
wind.
it's not hot this year. I'll come to the Arctic Union and cool off.
We'll try to bring
They don't have air
some
conditioning,
weather.
by the way. Or they don't turn it on if they do have it.
Cool, man. Well, I mean, let's get you funded and get that game out there, man. Because like I said, it looks amazing. Get that copy in my hands so I can give it a play, and so I can.
Yeah, we bring the key to you, send it to you.
All right, cool, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Have to love the customs here.
Silly customs.
Yeah.
Alad,
Yeah.
what do you got to say to the nice people out there about your game? Why should they back it?
Because it's a great game. I think it's probably maybe the best dice game you will ever play this year. That's for sure.
Look at that.
You can book it because the game is so smoothly driven by those dice, and I think I managed to solve the real problem with all dice games that they are not balanced. You're only dependent on the dice result, and in this game you will have equal amount of good decision to make based on your dice, even if you have low or high dice roll. So you should definitely check it out. It's not like your normal dice game. It's a dice-driven game.
And if they want to learn more about the game, where should they go?
You can go BGG, you can go on Kickstarter, our own webpage, goldenagames.com. You have everything on those sites. We put, even tomorrow we will have the German edition. We're doing by language this year, so we have English edition and a German edition in the same copy. So we publish the German official rules tomorrow, and the English one I think already published. And also I have another announcement, which is kind of funny because I just got about we have 3 new games coming from and it will be in stock in about a week. It's kind of good. All good games like Drumroll, Alcon, and Shadow over the Empire will be in stock in about a week. We just cleared the custom right now, so.
Drumroll is awesome. It's one of my favorite games. It's light, it's colorful, it's just I love Drumroll. Drumroll needs an expansion with another board with even more circus stuff.
Yeah.
That's what Drumroll needs. I want more circus stuff.
Definitely. They have tons of mini expansions, but I don't know. I will try to persuade them to do another expansion, but this is what we're trying to do, trying to get this game back on the market and see how good it will fare even 2 years after, because I think 3 years back, because it's the first year published. So we're trying to
Every time I talk to Konstantinos, I tell him he has to make a drumroll expansion. So
he's the busiest guy ever. He's like
he doesn't listen to reason. That one. I don't know what his deal is.
No, he hasn't. He doesn't have any. He's like one of my in this industry. Is like one of my best buddy, but I never get to his mind. He's like the weird scientist. You know, he will always try to come up with really weird and cool stuff at the same time.
Good for him. There's got to be a nutball out there somewhere. Barry, you got anything coming down the pipe?
Definitely.
No,
Nothing.
nada. Still having scheduling issues with my wife. Yeah, nada.
Nada. All right. Well, that's really interesting. Thank you.
No problem.
John, I don't even know. Do you know, other than the fact that you're trying to, when do they have these dice showing up for everybody?
Same answer as last week, 2016. So, but they'll, I don't know. I'm of the mindset that I would way rather have something come late and be as awesome as it's supposed to than rush it out the door and let mistakes be made. So we had to make some major changes. We had to change our dice factory, and it put us back 6 months, and that sucks. But it's worth it because the previous dice factory was letting us down. So gotta do what you gotta do. But chin up, looking forward, and I don't know, eyes on the future, not on the past. So yeah.
Awesome.
We got another new game coming out hopefully in October. When I have more information about it, I'll tell you then. But it's awesome. It's awesome.
Is it The Adventures of Captain Awesome?
No, that would be a good game though. That would be a cool. It'd be a pretty exciting game. I'm not gonna lie. But no, it's a new deck building meets drafting really equals fish building. Wait for it though.
All right, I will not pass judgment until I actually.
Look. You only know one of my games, but I don't know. From your limited experience, do I make things that are normal? Do I make things that have been done before? I make things that are epic and crazy and new. Fish. It's a battle card game where you take a guppy fish and you forcibly evolve it and adapt new fish parts onto it and then battle to the death. If there's any version of that turning out poorly, then I hope I don't stumble upon it. But it's awesome.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, to everyone who watched us and put up with us, and
to that guy who saw me at the Mon store and said, "Love you" on the Alaboom. That's so cool. Hi, that guy. I never got your name, but it was a pleasure to meet you.
And to those of you who are watching this after the fact, thank you very much for taking the time. Scott, I forgot. I didn't ask you. What's the $74 million man doing besides getting ready for his trip?
Well, we're going to be live streaming the whole time, so the 7th through the 12th. Actually, I think we start.
The correct answer was getting my games that I sent you.
That's not the priority, sir.
Oh well, I gave you your priority.
You know what? And
sorry, the 7th through the 11th, not the 12th.
Right. Now Scott's going to
5 days, 10 hours a day, 50 hours of live content coming your way.
That's awesome.
Hey Lance, while I still have you.
Hey John.
Did you have your bachelor weekend of gaming, and did TKA make it to the table like you said it was gonna?
It did make it to the table, yes.
Oh, sweet deal. Sweet. How was your bachelor weekend of gaming?
It just things conspired against me to erase some of the hours that I thought I was going to have. I had to run errands basically for my wife because like some of the other members of the wedding party had forgotten to do certain things, so I had to. So I had people in my house having a great time having games and playing them and watching my children, but I was out driving my car and grabbing things and then meeting up with the ladies. So, which was fine. It was fine. I was happy to do it. My wife had a really great time with her friends, and so, but it did intercede a bit on my plans, if you will.
Hey, somebody's got to pick up the corsages, so just the way it works.
Yeah, that's what. Sure, we'll say corsages. All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for being on. Go to the Cabalos web on Kickstarter and back the heck out of it. Go and check out. I don't know. Alad's got something out there. I guess. Who knows? No. Yeah. Rome Rise to Power. Go to Rise to Power and back the heck out of that one too. And if you're going to Essen, you can pick that one up at Essen, right?
Yeah, you have both games. We have Primetime and Rome, and also the deluxe edition of City Council, which
is Deion Sanders in Primetime?
No, I wish he was. Oh my God.
Primetime. All right. Good night, gentlemen. Wish me luck at GrandCon. Should be fun.
You'll need it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night, everybody. Bye, guys. Good night, fans.